It is 10:01. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans dropped to 1-8 with a 27-20 loss to the Chargers at Nissan Stadium. Cody Barton with a pick six. Chimere Dike returned a punt 67 yards for a touchdown, but the offense only came up with 6 points. And the Titans head into the bye week. Interim coach Mike McCoy will meet with the media today at 1:30. Tennessee fell at home over the weekend to Oklahoma 33-27. The third loss of the season, likely knocking the Vols out of playoff contention as they head into their bye week. The first CFP ranking happens tomorrow. Vanderbilt's comeback bid fell short in a 3-point loss at Texas as the Commodores pick up their second loss. Nashville Soccer Club forced a decisive Game 3 in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs with a 2-1 win over Inter Miami Saturday. They will play Game 3 Saturday night in Miami. You can hear it right here on The Zone. And it is college basketball season. Number 18 Tennessee opens its season tonight against Mercer. You can catch the Vol Network call. We'll join in progress here on The Zone in the second half. Vanderbilt hosts Lipscomb tonight at 7. Belmont opens up against Air Force. That tip-off at 6:30 at the Curb Center. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Close but no cigar yesterday for the Titans. 27-20, as you heard in Lucas's update, against the visiting Los Angeles Chargers. We'll get into that. Nobody but Memphis won in football this weekend. Vandy just has a disaster start in Austin against the Longhorns, and Texas is able to outlast a vigorous fourth quarter rally from the Commodores. Tennessee not able to get the job done at home against Oklahoma in the dark mode game. And then we have the Titans to cap things off yesterday. Good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Otherwise, 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to join the conversation. Robert, Lucas, everybody's back for one day. How are we?
For one day?
I'm leaving.
Where are you going?
Miami.
I revoked that. I gave my stamp of reject to that.
I just checked into my flight. I will be sitting on a beach by this time tomorrow.
Well, when I was in Miami, I told everyone there that you have hemorrhoids and that you are secretly an enjoyer of candy corn. So no one there is a big fan of you already.
I do like candy corn.
That's awful.
Also, where you were in Miami is not where I will be in Miami. You were in Miami Gardens.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Miami Gardens is nowhere close to Miami.
Word spreads fast. I put up flyers.
You might as well have gone to Fort Lauderdale.
Wait, when do you leave Miami?
Friday?
Oh.
I know.
You're just going to miss
the game.
Game 3, Nashville SC Inter Miami.
Talking to
Saturday
the
night.
Press box about that yesterday. Maybe Zarzer? No, Zarzer was asking me if I'd watched an Indiana football game yet. And I said, no, just the second half of the Oregon game. That's about it. But I am going to miss Nashville SC, who forced a Game 3 because they were able to beat Inter Miami on Saturday night. And we will touch on that a little later on in the show. Congratulations to Nashville SC for at least keeping hope alive and potentially giving themselves an opportunity to advance in the postseason. We will see how that plays out on Saturday. So, F&M Bank Chat, open for business. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can call us if you'd like to. I believe I already mentioned the number, 615-737-1045, just in case I didn't. What did we learn out of yesterday's Titans game? I suppose that's the way that we can talk about this the rest of the season. Trade deadline, obviously, tomorrow. There have been a trade made already this morning, though not Titans-related. The Eagles are acquiring Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins. Potentially we could have some trade news throughout the course of the show. Who's to say? I learned that if your offense can't score touchdowns, but your defense and your special teams can, you can at least make it close. And it was their closest margin of defeat of the year. And in fact, they had their greatest lead of the season. 7-0 against the Chargers with the Cody Barton pick six is as much as this team has led at any point. And then Chimere Dike with a 67-yard punt return touchdown, the first since
2012, Darius Raynaud.
December 30th, 2012.
Against the Jags.
I was a sophomore in college the last time the Tennessee Titans returned a punt for a score. So well done by Chimere Dike and Cody Barton. but the offense can't manage, and a field goal in the first half, field goal in the second half, that's a wrap, 27-20.
4-quarter game, only one other than the Arizona game that you can really say that about throughout the course of this season. I suppose the Broncos game counts when you had the ball down by a possession late in the fourth quarter on that last drive, but 6 points by the offense wasn't going to cut it in this game. I don't know if we learned much else. We continued to see Chimere Dike emerge as a playmaker on special teams. At this point, he has to be considered a Pro Bowler, and I don't know, even in the All-Pro discussion for returners in the AFC, now that he's got a touchdown under his belt, still leads the league in all-purpose yards, kind of extended that, continues to kind of do things that not many Titans rookies have done. He joins Pac-Man Jones and Mark Mariani as the only rookies to have 1,000 or more kickoff return yards in the season, and there's still half the season to go. So congrats to him. Rookies kind of driving the way offensively. Again, obviously the turning point, 3rd and goal, 4th and goal, on the 1, second half, and you get stuffed. Chargers turn around, march down the field, score to make it a 10-point game, and at that point, you felt as though it was pretty much out of reach.
Do either of you know how many touchdowns, total touchdowns this season, the Tennessee Titans have scored as a football team, including the 2 yesterday?
Defense, special teams, offense, everything included.
All of it, all in.
Let's go with
9.
18.
9 total offensive touchdowns.
Okay, so I'm going to adjust my number to 14.
So 11, 12?
11.
I'm going to adjust my number to 11.
Total touchdowns. You gave them 18 touchdowns?
I don't know. I figured they'd be good for hell. One week they had to score like
Brother,
2 in a game.
They
right?
are averaging an offensive touchdown per game because they didn't have one yesterday, and they've had games where they have scored 2 offensive touchdowns, but they are league low, and again, pending Monday Night Football, but I don't think anybody on Monday Night Football is basement dweller as they are. Dallas and Arizona.
Definitely not the Cowboys.
No, not the Cowboys.
Second best scoring offense in the league.
And even Arizona has put up points, in spurts, right? Not consistently, but they're 2-5. So 1 offensive touchdown per game is what the Tennessee Titans are scoring. 11 total touchdowns on the year, and that includes the pick 6 by Barton and the Chimere Dike punt return touchdown yesterday. So obviously not sustainable when you are languishing the way that they are on the offensive side of the ball. They are tied for the league low in passing touchdowns. They are tied for the league low in rushing touchdowns. They have 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. They have, if I'm not mistaken, 5 passing touchdowns on the season as well. All would be, if not the worst, tied for the worst. They are 32nd in overall yards, 31st in rushing, 31st in passing, 32nd on 3rd down. They were 1 of 9 yesterday, the Tennessee Titans. Red zone, 30th, and they have allowed 38 sacks, which means that Cam Ward is on average getting sacked 4 times a game.
Which might be the most disappointing number in all of what you just said. Yeah, I mean, the offense, if you told me that Calvin Ridley would be missing multiple games with a hamstring and they'd be relying on a rookie quarterback, a bunch of rookie receivers, a rookie tight end, then, yeah, a lot of those numbers would kind of add up to me. And they face some really good defenses in that stretch, too. But the sack number for an offensive line
that really bad.
Is back to full health for multiple games now with J.C. Latham back at right tackle is disappointing in a group that was supposed to be one of the strengths of the roster, that was supposed to take a big leap this year.
You have an opportunity late in the game. They have an 11-play, 71-yard drive that ends at the goal line because they cannot convert on 4th and inches. The Wildcat, it wasn't super frequent. Like, they didn't run 100 Wildcat plays or 10 Wildcat plays yesterday. They ran 3, and 1 was negated by penalty.
Right.
So it's not like, but they were ineffective on all of them. And the one that was negated by penalty was the Wildcat just direct snap run by Tony Pollard that would have been well short of the line to gain anyway. So the Wildcat utilization was confusing. Again, 2 that counted, 1 that didn't because of penalty. Cam Ward was not good yesterday. There are some things that You're looking for him, again, incremental progress, kids. I know that that's not the sexy thing to talk about or to open with on a Monday morning. You want to talk about you want to talk about a game, well, unless you're a defensive fan. You want to talk about a game like Caleb Williams and Joe Flacco played yesterday, where there was damn near 1,000 yards of offense just between the quarterbacks.
That was crazy.
Just nonsense. Instead, we're talking about a situation where the defense gets a touchdown, the special teams gets a touchdown, the offense manages 2 field goals.
Well, do you want a really sexy stat?
Sure.
You said how many Titans touchdowns there have been. Do you know how many Titans punts there have been this year?
If they have 11 total touchdowns, I'm going to say they have 30 punts.
I'm going to say like 41.
Ooh, 42.
Oh.
He is tied for second in the league with most punts. And, yeah, 42. The leader in the clubhouse for most punts this year is the Denver punter, Jeremy Crenshaw, with 46 punts. He also leads the league in punting yards with over 2,000.
I did not see that Broncos-Texans game, but I looked up at one point with it tied 15-15. I said, whoa.
Well, that's your AFC West leading team, the Denver Broncos, at 7-2.
Is it 6 in a row for them since they lost the Colts game?
Yeah, they started 1-2. And the Chargers are 6-3 in second. Kansas City 5-4 in third after that loss in Buffalo yesterday.
What'd you call this game? How did you describe it?
This game?
No, the Denver Texans game.
Ugly?
No. Say it how you said it.
Ugly.
No.
Ugly.
There it is. Ugly. Ugly.
It was.
Did you get what you wanted out of that?
No. It had way more mustard the first time. Way more mustard.
His general confusion about what it is that he said 3 seconds ago did not help the situation. In fairness to you.
Uglier than Panthers 16, Packers 13 at Lambeau Field?
Hey, get the Packers offense out of my life.
Oh, is there a wishy, maybe other than the Chargers, is there a wishy-washier on and off again offense in the league?
Denver...
No, I don't think Denver's more boom or bust than Green Bay.
And you could look at it as, okay, Tucker Kraft, who is probably their number one target right now on offense. The dude has been incredible. Goes down with an unfortunate injury. That probably put a damper on it. But you would hope a team like them with the NFC powers that be, like you would be able to take care of the Panthers. But Rico Dowdle, they finally picked their woman. No more, no, I'm with her or I'm with him. What's that called when you have multiple wives?
Polygamy?
No more polygamist running back room in Carolina. It's Rico Dowdle. Let Rico go out there and run it.
Yeah, he's a stud.
So we'll do more NFL generally because it was a really fun day of football yesterday. And even, listen, for as critical as we are of the Titans, and there are no moral victories, like it was an entertaining game for a period of time that they had an opportunity to win. They, of course, didn't because they're just not good. And the Chargers are good enough. Joe Alt, unfortunately, a high ankle sprain. It looks like, again, he got carted off the field. That obviously did impact.
And his backup was inactive in Austin Deculus.
Yes, famously.
Who ball knower Robert Walsh knew
ugly
a couple weeks ago.
I had like a Leo DiCaprio Once Upon a Time in Hollywood moment when I pulled up the flip card yesterday. I said, Deculus, I know him.
There he is, that's him.
But Mekhi Becton was down in this game, too. Obviously, Rashawn Slater out for the year. Yeah. They are decimated on the offensive line. And to be fair, Titans took advantage.
6 sacks.
Yeah, most sacks they've had in a game since 2021.
I believe John Glennon had that stat yesterday, yes. So we will ask Ben Jones, who will also be on the show, legend of the game, Ben Jones, yesterday. He said if they won, they might ask him back for every game. They did not, because that's not what they do.
Good for him. Can have his Sundays off now.
Hey, man, listen, the most self-aware thing about that organization, they had Ben Jones come out before the game kicked off. The legend of the game thing used to be before the fourth quarter started. But now they fear so much that there will be nobody in the stands by the time we get to the fourth quarter. Now, ironically enough, this was a close game.
It was the best game of the year at Nissan Stadium for sure.
Oh, my God. Oh, by the way, 1 year ago today, the Titans won their last home game. It was November the 3rd when they beat the New England Patriots, and Brian Callahan's voice cracked at the podium. We have not seen them win a game at home in 365 days.
I think you should, the next home game, I don't know where you get these at, but you should get some tumbleweeds. Bring the tumbleweeds for Titans until they get
Brother,
a home
I don't
win.
need them. Zach Lyons was vicious yesterday on the pregame. He's like, nobody's here. Crappy football. Crappy weather. I'm just like, oh, my God.
Well, the tickets were like $9.
$8.33. Ramon Foster did.
That's
text
before
us that.
tax.
Weather was awful.
Yeah, it was cold. It was cold. But he was sitting here in the studio bundled up.
It's awful today.
Awful.
No, it's not. This is the good cold.
There's no good cold.
Oh, so, yeah, there's nothing to make of, like, I almost thought about asking people in the locker room about that yesterday, or like Mike McCoy, but like, what's Mike McCoy going to say about the last time they won a home game? It's just to the point where you don't, obviously, you still ask questions at the press conference. Obviously, there are still things worth talking about, but it is just such a, like almost a humiliation ritual to walk into the Titans locker room after these games and ask these guys questions. The same questions we've been asking for literally a calendar year. So that's where things are at. And mercifully, everybody gets a break this week. It's a bye week, so they cannot lose. They cannot win, but they cannot lose either. So progress in that department, and you can enjoy football. Vol's also off this week. Yes?
Indeed.
We will get into a variety of different subjects today. It is the day before the trade deadline, and there has already been some deals made. Also worth noting, basketball back in action. We've got Tennessee. They're not. They're hosting Mercer, yes?
Yes.
Okay. That schedule looked weird on the Vols official website. And then Vanderbilt hosting Lipscomb. For the local component of things, we got college basketball.
Don't forget Belmont.
Place. Who's Belmont playing?
Hosting Air Force today at the Curb Center.
Oh, you're doing that game tonight?
I'll be on sidelines tonight with Steve Lehman and Greg Sage. Yeah.
On ESPN.
The Plus.
It's not 3?
I think it's Plus now. I think they should call it The Plus.
The Plus.
Especially
like
as they
Ocho?
boot everybody off YouTube TV and drive them towards the app. The Plus.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. All right, we will get into some deadline headlines on this college basketball tip-off day. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you if you are experiencing performance issues, because that happens to a lot of guys. As you get up there in age, as your body starts to change, you may notice some differences, and those things don't have to be inevitable. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has been helping guys with performance issues for over a decade. Thousands of men have got back to feeling like themselves. These aren't cookie-cutter treatments. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results, often with options most men didn't even know were out there. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
It's time for Deadline Headlines with Lucas Panzica.
Should be plenty of deadline headlines over the course of the next couple of days as the trade deadline fast approaches tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time. And we'll talk about that as it relates to any potential Titans trades. There is news. There are nuggets floating around on certain Titans players, but there is a trade of some significance that has happened. The Eagles have added yet another player to their defense as they acquire Miami outside linebacker Jalen Phillips, and they receive, the Dolphins do, a 2026 third-rounder in the deal. Straight up, Jalen Phillips for a third-round draft pick. Phillips, 3 sacks in 9 games this season. He's got 26 in his 5-year career so far with the Dolphins, a first-round pick in 2021.
So he's 12th in terms of total pressures among just qualified edge guys, according to Pro Football Focus. And Miami's passing defense should be so much better, at least their front, right, with Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips, and it just never really manifested. Robert, you got an up-close and personal look at the Dolphins' defense, unable to do anything against Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in his return. What were your observations on the Dolphins defense? Boots on the ground reporting, because I know you were completely clear of mind and sound of body at that point in time.
Writing notes.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about Jalen Phillips in that game.
Cheyenne posted a picture of them waiting for Lamar around the Thursday Night Football set after the fact, because obviously the player of the game or something like that goes to speak to Whitworth and Fitzpatrick and them. And Roberts, I've never seen somebody who's clearly trying to open their eyes, but failing spectacularly whilst still being awake and standing as you were. You just completely...
It's like a newborn kitten. They just can't open their eyes.
Truly. Like it was, I was concerned about you. I thought that somebody had like sprayed beer in your eye or something like that.
No, that would have probably helped my situation. If it's all you can eat, you're going to eat all you can eat. If it's all you can drink, you're going to drink all you can drink.
No, not everybody's going to do that.
Well, I was. Do you guys know...
You just can't pass up those savings.
That's what I'm saying. Just the deals, man. Jalen Phillips has a crazy history. I don't know if you guys were familiar with him before he got to Miami to thrust him into NFL stardom. He was at UCLA his sophomore year, got a concussion, sustained some more injuries, and then got in a car wreck and had to medically retire. The dude he medically retired from UCLA. I don't remember that at all. Ends up coming back and playing for the Hurricanes and was exceptional for his final year and just ended up going into the draft. But this guy has been fighting for pretty much his entire collegiate career. So glad that somebody like him gets to go play on a team that's worth playing for, play for a Super Bowl contender. But honestly, a great ad as far as talent goes because, and we've talked about this before with comp picks, they get his rights now. So even if it is a one-year rental, a player of his status, someone who is going to fetch a lot of money on the open market as a pass rusher if they choose not to re-sign him, they would essentially get a third or fourth round comp pick back, but it would be 2 years from now. So Howie's playing the long game, and he has the fat wallet to deal with, right? He dealt a third because he had 2 thirds. In fact, he has 2 picks in every round after the third round, I believe. So
I did not know this.
Dude, a crazy...
Yeah, no, he's riding a moped.
Crazy story. But good for him. I love guys that get to fight back. When were the Dolphins on Hard Knocks last year? they really followed this guy's story, like how built up he was, had a huge sack, and then last year he tore his ACL or Achilles, I'm not sure, season-ending knee injury in Week 4, lost to the Titans.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Yeah. So when he medically retired in 2018, he enrolled at the LA City College to study music production before deciding, I'm going to transfer to Miami. And he transferred to their School of Music with the intent to also play football. And here he is.
Sat out in 2019 and started 2020. And dude had 8 sacks off the bench.
Crazy.
Like, very crazy.
Eagles also added Jair Alexander in a trade with the Ravens. And remember, they landed cornerback Michael Carter II last week as well. So clearly bolstering that defensive backfield, too. That unit as a whole that's been subpar this season. Jair Alexander, former Packers star. We talked a lot about his trade to the Ravens in the offseason.
He was signed after they released him.
Yeah, he was a free agent.
That's right. They cut him.
They are 6-2 in first place in their division, the Eagles, and coming off a bye. They had a bye this week in Week 9. So Philadelphia, who's obviously the defending Super Bowl champion, probably, I think that they did a soft reset this offseason by letting so many of their free agents walk and get big money elsewhere. Arizona, New England, a lot of the guys on defense in particular. And then now sitting here around the bye at the halfway point, leading the division, they're probably like, all right, bleep it. Let's take another run at this thing. It would be crazy. The percentage chance of teams that are not the Chiefs in repeating as Super Bowl champions is next to none. Hell, it's difficult for teams that made the Super Bowl to even get back into the postseason the following year. But obviously the Eagles are equipped for success. Do we think that there is any noise around A.J. Brown over the course of the next 24 hours plus 28 hours?
We'll see.
He seems very unhappy.
I just don't see it. Unhappy players can play football too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like if I'm Philadelphia, bleep off. Like,
yeah, why would they ever try?
No.
Like, just anybody in an advantageous position to win a Super Bowl is not going to trade away one of their 2 best wide receivers. I just don't see it. Unless someone comes out of nowhere and like, we'll give you 2 first-round picks for him.
Like everybody has a price, but it would be outrageous if Philadelphia was willing to part with him for even a second-round pick at this point in time.
So Diana Rossini had some trade deadline intel / nuggets that she put out on Saturday. One of those was that the Dolphins were seeking at least a 3rd rounder in return for Jalen Phillips, and that the Eagles, Niners, and Patriots were among the teams interested, and that turns out to be true. The Eagles send a 3rd to Miami for Jalen Phillips. She also said, among several things, that the Titans are fielding the most calls on Arden Key, Draymond Jones, Tony Pollard, and Tavondre Sweat. On top of that, Mike Florio reported that the Titans are trying to do a deal for Calvin Ridley.
Now, the Titans have since refuted that in the sense that they are not shopping Calvin Ridley, but that they are receiving calls on Calvin Ridley, and Tehran put that out yesterday. So the Calvin thing, I guess they're trying to not look like they don't have leverage in Calvin Ridley's situation when they don't have a ton of leverage anyway. But you remove what little you do have if you say, yeah, we'll take something for him. Just give us, make us an offer, and we'll give you Calvin Ridley. As opposed to trying to, we've got many people interested in Calvin Ridley. What's your best offer? And we'll still be willing to eat money to get this guy off our roster because we don't want him here anymore. Right. People were upset at me when I talked about Tavondre Sweat all last week. And I keep trying to tell you guys, as soon as that Jarvis Brownlee trade goes down and you have a different administration, this is Blaine was talking about this on the pregame show. He didn't feel like it was super common in the NFL to do what the Titans are trying to do, which is, we just don't want the rest of what was here before we got here. And you kind of pushed back on me a couple of weeks ago about that too, and I understood why there would be pushback to that, because why would you trade a talented young quarter? Why would you trade a starting nose tackle that you spent a 2nd-round pick on after just 1 year? And I'm not saying that Tavondre Sweat is not going to be a Titan by 3 p.m. tomorrow. I'm just saying that if they find a reasonable enough deal, they're not sold on keeping him. And that's me. Everybody up for grabs except for Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons means everybody up for grabs except for Jeff and Cam.
Yeah, the Brownlee trade obviously set a precedent, right? I think, what do we have to stand on to sit here and say, no way they trade Tavondre Sweat? I mean, he is an untradeable asset. We can't say that after they did what they did with Jarvis Brownlee for next to nothing in return.
You would like to be able to say that if you're a Titans fan.
Sure.
Because if you're a Titans fan, you're looking around and being like, guys, stop making more holes.
Right,
Like,
make the rebuild easier on yourself.
I get you want picks or whatever, but like just find people that are capable of coaching these guys if you don't want to deal with them. And that's what irritates me about this whole thing. These are talented players that you have at value. Sweat costs $600K right now. Like, figure it out.
Whereas Draymond Jones is kind of that perfect candidate. 28 years old, feels like he's in the prime of his career. He's definitely playing the best he ever has in regards to affecting the quarterback. 4.5 sacks in 4 straight games, the longest such stretch of his career. So I imagine there would be more interest certainly than for Arden Key, right, who hasn't exactly flashed this year and has missed multiple games.
Yeah, he's been gone a month.
With a hamstring.
I don't know what he could do.
I mean, his name continues to come up, and Jeremy Fowler here, Diana Rossini there. It's like, hey, Arden Key and Draymond Jones. I mean, if I'm a team that needs pass rush help, I'm calling about Draymond Jones, not about Arden Key. But
it depends on the defense, right? Like, what do you have on your roster already? Now, Draymond Jones, I think, would fit more places than Arden would. Draymond Jones is theoretically a replacement level starter. Like, he's what I expected him to be when they signed him. Of all the things that have fallen short of expectation, like, that's a starting edge rusher, and he's doing his job. And they had a really nice rush plan yesterday against a depleted offensive line. They got 6 sacks.
Jihad Ward, 2.5 sacks.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Well, he had the one that, like, Herbert scrambled and just kind of made it slightly behind the line of scrimmage, which counted as a sack for Jihad, but that's fine.
And Cedric Gray, first sack of his career.
Yes. He is, Draymond Jones, a player that makes sense in more places. He's also, if I'm not mistaken, less expensive than Arden is, like on salary remaining. Now, again.
Oh, what did he sign? A 1-year, $10 million deal?
Yeah, but the vast majority of that was guaranteed money that's already been paid out. So you just have his remaining cap hit, which I think is just slightly over $1 million.
If he does not get traded, is that a player that could help the Titans to be brought back next year?
I'd want him.
Like, for me, putting the Titans fan hat on.
Who else do you have?
Yeah, it's like, if we're not going to trade him, let's keep him. Re-sign him for next year.
Who else do you have?
Because at this point, I mean, he is your best pass rusher.
And he does fit the bill of they signed him, their player, our guy.
Yeah, and a lot of the players that did good things yesterday were Borgonzi signings or draft picks, right? Cody Barton with the pick 6, Draymond Jones with a sack and a half, Chimere Dike, the punt return.
Yeah, it's funny how everybody shows up for the pre-trade deadline game, huh?
Elsewhere, there have not been any other major trades to really take note of.
New England did a couple of deals last week.
Yeah, Kyle Duggar on the move.
And Kyle Duggar, that had fallen out of favor there anyway in the preseason. They were talking about that. They're just trying to cull all the Belichick, Elliott Wolf play in the same way that Rand Carthon is being essentially erased from his time in Tennessee. They're doing the same thing in New England for a couple of different reasons. Patriots, though, do the Patriots have 7 wins on the season?
They're 7-2.
Survived Atlanta yesterday, 23-24.
Atlanta scored to tie it up, missed the extra point.
We just saw highlights on the Jumbotron at Nissan Stadium. Drake London, my God. Hell of a game by him to try and get the Falcons back into that thing. But ultimately, Drake May is just, Drake May is he what we wanted Justin Herbert to be, or is Herbert the more evolved form of Drake May? Am I just doing this because
let's keep
I'm
our
like
powder
T'Vondre
dry.
Sweat now, and I'm just looking at a tall white guy with a big arm that dates a supermodel and saying quarterback?
Well, keep your powder dry, because Justin Herbert, we fall in love with him every regular season, and then the playoffs come around. Like, we haven't even seen Drake May play in a playoff game. And I will add, the Patriots' schedule has been very favorable this year. I mean, they beat the Bills. Apart from that, what's their second most impressive win? Panthers? Probably Panthers.
Yeah, because they just...
Yeah, Panthers just went up to Lambeau and won, and Patriots won that game decisively. But they go to Tampa this week, and
that would be their second most impressive win if they're able to pull that off.
Easily. And then later in the year, they go to Baltimore. They still have to host Buffalo, but they've got a whole bunch of divisional games against the bad teams and the Jets and the Dolphins, and they play the Giants too. So Patriots are going to finish with a nice record for sure. But let's see what Drake May does in the postseason.
It was so important for Buffalo to win that game last night, just to keep pace, because the Patriots, that's the game they had to win,
Yeah,
right?
the Colts lost too. And Daniel Jones kind of came back down to earth with 3 interceptions.
Well, also, where the hell is the Steelers' defense coming out of nowhere from? You know what I'm saying? Like
27-20.
Both of those things happened at the exact same time. All of a sudden, the Steelers are playing, early 2000s era Tomlin defense.
It's because the Colts theme song guy said he wanted to break Rodgers' back.
Oh, yeah. He had to issue an apology statement.
No, the Seth guy?
Let me pull it. I'll pull it for you guys. Keep.
He put out an apology video.
Well, we can do it next, right? We don't have to do it right now.
Oh, no, I found it. Hold on.
Okay.
You think we're going to get popped for this on copyright?
Does he sing? Is it
This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue. This is our Colts. Whether win or lose, we love them. For the shoe, beat the Steelers. Let's break Rodgers' back. This is our team. Go Colts.
Oh, it's so happy.
You told me it was coming and I wasn't prepared for it.
It's so happy and sing along. And it sounds like a thing out of Teletubbies. And all of a sudden he just says, and kill him.
It's like watching a Tennessee game with Lucas. Kill him.
Beat the Steelers. Let's break Rodgers' back.
His apology was even better. I have to find his apology.
Why don't you get the apology coming up next? Because that's hilarious. Oh my God. We've turned it that you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, the happy sing-along Colts guy out here threatening Aaron Rodgers' well-being.
Steelers, let's break Rodgers' back.
So wholesome until it's not. That's the Halloween version.
Don't let me forget you have to. His apology makes it even better.
So why don't we talk about Nashville SC apologizing for nothing in a Game 2 win against Inter Miami, and we'll get to this. What's his last name? Or just Colts Seth?
It is Seth, in quotations, DeFlo. I'm glad he did that, or I would have confused that with it being his middle name.
Yes.
Erskines.
Okay, we'll get to his apology and a Nashville SC win coming up next. No one wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost, or if it'll get fixed correctly, or if someone is just trying to sell you something. When you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. The price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and is family-owned and operated. Their techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. 100% satisfaction guarantee of happy you'll be, or the service is free. That's the Happy Hiller promise. So book online today at happyhiller.com. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. We don't play enough Ludacris on the show.
He might be the most underrated rapper. No, that's not true. That's Juicy J. Juicy J is the most underrated rapper of all time.
Oh, you can't say that in the state of Tennessee. This is not a place where Juicy J is underrated.
Well, in my world, Juicy J belongs on that Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think 3 6 Mafia is, I think they are properly rated. Like, they get the love that they deserve. So does he fall under that? Or you don't think he gets enough solo love?
He does not get enough solo love. The same way that you could talk about, the Four Horsemen. Yes, the Four Horsemen get enough love, but does Arn Anderson? No.
Right.
Nobody loves Arn Anderson like that.
Fair enough.
You should, but they don't.
You should love what Nashville SC did on Saturday night against Inter Miami. Lucas was on the call at Geodis Park to force a Game 3 this next Saturday, a 2-1 result in favor of Nashville to continue to prolong this first-round playoff series. What'd you like?
Oh, the crowd, first of all, was awesome. A cold, rainy, and the crowd showed out and was making noise all night. And Nashville just got into Miami's face, never let them get comfortable. Lionel Messi, his impact was mitigated as much as it can possibly be until, of course, it's 2-0. And then 90th minute, he just has an absolute wonder strike to put Miami on the board and make it a really nervy last few minutes. But backs against the wall, and Nashville showed up, and Sam Surridge scores a penalty kick goal in the 9th minute, his 31st goal of the season. Josh Bauer, the unlikely hero, off a corner kick right before halftime, and they just kind of dug out this result. It's the best way to put it. They had the intensity that they needed and found a way to get it done. And B.J. Callahan's team lives to fight another week. Game 3 this Saturday night will determine who moves on to the Eastern Conference semifinals. We'll have it for you right here on The Zone. Will and Eddie Carvacho will be on the call. Nashville puts in a 19-year-old in Matthew Corcoran to start this game, youngest player to start a playoff game in the club's history, and he was fantastic in midfield. What were you guys doing at 19?
Probably something illegal.
Robert was
pooping in neighbors' toilets.
No, I was in
high school.
I was in Greenville by then. I was at ACU by then. So I was
still committing crimes.
Yeah, probably breaking into someone's car on the Greenway.
What is
petty theft.
19 is junior year of college?
I'd say sophomore. I think you turn 9. No, I think you turn 19 your freshman year, actually, because you turn 18
it depends
usually
when
your
you went
senior
to
year.
school.
I'm younger for my grade.
Yeah, freshman or sophomore year.
I would have been going into junior year. So, doing dumb bleep with my friends and having a summer job painting dorms or something like that. Nothing impressive.
Well, Matthew Corcoran is dueling it out with Lionel Messi on a Saturday night in a playoff game at Geodis Park. And he was really impressive. He's part of this kind of youth movement that Nashville is moving forward with the likes of Sam Surridge and Hani Mukhtar leading the charge as stars in this league. And they just survived. It was really impressive. The mentality that they had is what was needed, and they found a way to get it done, grab an early lead, and then see it out. Really, really fun night at Geodis Park. First ever win in the playoffs at Geodis Park.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to Nashville SC, and we hope that they can get a good result over Inter Miami in Miami on Saturday.
It's happened before.
So the call was on WTN.
We were on Super Talk, WTN.
Over the weekend, there is not a Vols football conflict?
No, they're
because
off.
It's a bye week.
It's a bye week. Okay. So Nashville's trying to repeat what Atlanta did last year in a shocking upset against Miami. They lost game 1 of the 3-game series, won games 2 and 3. And now Nashville trying to repeat that. But they finally got over that hump. Mentally, that felt like it was huge. They had yet to beat Miami in the Messi era and had seen them several times. So just to get over that hump gives them a lot of confidence going into Saturday. But it's going to be a challenge.
Would you say that Miami is the bane of Nashville SC's existence?
Not after Saturday.
Because
but historically, right?
Historically, yeah, it's been a big challenge.
Sure. So if you'll remember, Bane broke Batman's back.
That's right.
Over his knee. And that is a lot what Seth DeFlo Erskines wanted the Colts to do to the Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Tonight. This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue. This is our Colts. Whether win or lose, we love them.
This is so inspiring.
For the shoe, beat the Steelers. Let's break Rodgers Rogers back.
Whoa.
This is our
Hey.
team. Go Colts.
Nay, I say to hurting other players, Seth. Come on, man. What are we doing?
So you told me during the commercial break, and I guess I didn't notice this when we were at Indianapolis last weekend, but they run these videos like in the stadium at Lucas Oil?
That is my understanding of it. Is the Colts every week interact with him, put it on their stuff, like he is their reigning defending fan of the year.
Somebody in the chat said my favorite part is the song he's doing is a parody of a worship song.
I did not know that. Talking about breaking backs.
Yes, he's praying for violence against Aaron Rodgers on Sunday.
Well, the Colts were kind of upset about this because when you partner with someone, you know, the whole our views are not shared by so-and-so and so-and-so.
Of course.
Well, they asked Seth to put out an apology, and Seth agreed to it. And here was how Seth's apology sounded. Oh, it's muted. Hold on, Seth. I hope you didn't mute this, buddy, because I really want to hear this. All right, hold on.
Oh, no.
Dadgummit. What are we doing?
Oh, no.
What are we doing here?
Everything was happening so smoothly.
Hey guys, Seth here. I just want to address something that I have gotten comments about from today's Colts Anthem video. I just want to set the record straight. I do not want Aaron Rodgers to get hurt. I do not condone violence. We were just being savage just to be fun. Sorry if it came in the wrong, if you guys took it the wrong way. But go Colts. Hope you guys
Break Aaron Rodgers back. Thanks, Seth. Sorry, we were just being savage, having fun.
Being savage just to be fun.
That's what I was doing when I was 19, by the way. Just being savage and having fun.
When you're terrorizing a teacher by throwing stuff on his garage door in the middle of the night.
That was 16. By the way, we want to break Rodgers back. If there was ever a time
Condone violence,
to put,
but I want him to be broken.
there was ever a time to put like a gospel choir behind him to be like, "This is our Colts. This is our team. We bleed blue."
That's so
Having
good.
all of them sing together and sing, "Let's break Rodgers back."
Just lean in.
That would have been
like a full Weird Al type of
oh,
situation.
yeah, they should have leaned in.
that would have been angelic. But Colts fans, it's Seth's fault. It is Seth's fault you lost that game. He jinxed you. You were on a terror. You were on a run, and he just sent you crashing back down to earth. Seth broke the Colts back. You didn't break Rodgers back.
Can you find those songs like on Spotify?
Ooh, if he's not putting them on
Are they
Spotify,
public? I mean,
they're
if
on
the-
his YouTube channel. I know that.
If the Colts are going to really lean into it, because you had a great idea during the break for Nashville SC with the chants in the stadium.
Oh, that they should take like Vamos Nashville and put it on Spotify, because I would listen to that. I would listen to that driving in. Nashville, if you do this, I'll just take 1% of the sales.
Just to get hype for the game.
Like if you were driving in your car today and you're remembering that, like, dadgummit, that was electric at Geodis. It's like, I want to hear Vamos Nashville. If there was a like studio produced version of Vamos Nashville, it would get played. That would be a banger. That would be playing at every single but I don't know where you would find that at.
Yeah, fair enough. It was a party in the concourse. Tempo was crowd surfing, the mascot, after his cameo on the show last week.
I know.
He smells bad.
No,
he doesn't.
Stop it. Stop that.
All mascots do.
No, he's not. His name is Tempo. He is not a mascot. You needed to suspend your disbelief.
I'm going to find out his real name and then really, ruins Christmas for everybody.
This is how Buck is for all dogs. Just period.
He stinks.
Yeah, just
no,
hates
I
him.
do feel that way. All dogs do smell.
No.
They eat their own poop. How do you not smell if you
They
eat
don't
your own
all
poop?
eat. They don't all eat their own
yeah,
poop.
only the
now
dumb
you're being
ones.
reductive. Come on. If you have a dog that doesn't eat poop, send it a picture to Buck. He would love it.
No.
Quickly, there's some significant, not Titans related news.
Back off.
But Packers tight end Tucker Kraft torn ACL.
Yeah, that's tough.
He's done.
That's tough.
He was having a monster season.
He's a huge part of their offense, and obviously that takes a hit. He's their most consistent receiving threat, certainly this season, and the Packers' offense needs all the consistency it can get, but it will be without their star tight end. Ben Jones, speaking of stars, legend of the game, Ben Jones will join us. Coming up next, we will talk a little Titans and a lot more college football on Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. You want to make sure that your money is right. You want to make sure that you're financially independent. And that is something that Trajan Wealth can help you with because the holiday season is already upon us. It's not too late to check this year's financial resolution off your list. Give Trajan Wealth a call today to start achieving your financial goals, and they will put you in position to succeed. If you are wondering, do I have enough to retire or am I missing something? Meet with Trajan Wealth and at least get a second opinion because they will give you answers and a real plan. They're not just advisors, they're fiduciaries, and they will treat you like family. You will become a client because they will earn your trust and take the stress off your shoulders. Call Trajan Wealth and get your plan started today. 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000, or visit them online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement.
Nashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
Let's face it, buying a vehicle should be straightforward and stress-free, and that's exactly how Two Rivers Ford has been doing business for decades. This locally owned dealership has a non-commissioned sales team whose only focus is to find you the right vehicle at the right price without the pressure. So you'll actually have a fun car buying experience. Great prices, easy financing, and a non-commissioned sales team. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
It is 11 a.m. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. Titans are 1-8 after a 27-20 loss to the Chargers at Nissan Stadium. Cody Barton had a pick six. Chimere Dike housed a punt 67 yards for a touchdown, but the offense with only 6 points as the Titans fall heading into the bye week. Mike McCoy will meet with the media coming up at 1:30. Tennessee Vols fell at home over the weekend to Oklahoma 33-27. Third loss of the season knocks the Vols out of playoff contention heading into their bye week. The first CFP ranking happens tomorrow. Vanderbilt dropped their second loss of the year. Comeback bid fell short with a 3-point loss at Texas, and the Commodores move on. Nashville Soccer Club forced a decisive Game 3 in the first round with a 2-1 win over Miami Saturday. They'll play Game 3 Saturday night. Win or go home. College hoops, number 18 Tennessee opens the season tonight against Mercer. You can hear the Vol Network call right here in the zone. That picks up in the second half. Vandy hosting Lipscomb tonight at 7. Belmont opening up against Air Force at the Curb Center. Tip-off at 6:30. Monday Night Football, the Cowboys host the Cardinals, who are without Kyler Murray again at quarterback. Jacoby Brissett gets the start. Kickoff at 7:15. You can catch the Westwood One call right here on the zone. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ben Jones is here, as is the custom, for the second hour on a Monday. Titans legend of the game for Week 9. Got him out there before kickoff. Got the boys going for a pick six and a punt return touchdown. Not quite enough, but Ben, it was the best showing they've had all year. Maybe you're the legend of the legend of the game in residence for the rest of the season.
They did great. That's what we were wanting. You're playing a good offense like that, and that's what you wanted. Your defense came out there and their fault. They had a battered O-line over there on the other side, and we took advantage of that. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, yes, Jeff's not there, Arden's not there, but we went out there and played on that D-line. They got after him the whole game. If they protected him, he made plays down the field, but they had him running for his life. And that's what you wanted to see as Titans fans.
6 sacks, to Ben's point. So what did anything necessarily outside of the Chargers being, kind of a mash unit on the offensive line, and Joe Alt obviously gets hurt in this game and gets carted off with a high ankle sprain. Did you notice anything in particular about the way that Denard Wilson had the rush plan set up, like the way that they were attacking the Chargers?
Yeah, you could tell they were coached up. They wasn't getting behind him. They'd get to the top of the pocket. They would turn it back in. They wasn't letting him escape. They were constantly bringing different twists and games. They knew they had a rush plan. They wanted to keep him in the pocket because that's where he's dangerous. If he gets out the pocket, he's like Josh Allen. He makes throws down the field. He can run, and they did a great job of keeping him in there, giving the O-line different looks, not bringing a lot of pressure, and they were getting after him.
27-20 could have been a difference maker if they were able to score from 4th and inches on the Chargers' goal line there. Obviously, they run the Wildcat, and they cannot get it done. A couple of different Wildcat plays yesterday, 3 in particular, 2 that counted, 1 negated by penalty, which was an Alec Iamaner hold on a Tony Pollard short yardage situation. So is it just simply defense beat offense on those plays, or what do you identify during the week about a defense that lends itself to Wildcat packages beyond the fact that y'all just had Derrick Henry so often, and Derrick is a more effective Wildcat player than your average running back? Yeah,
you gain a blocker. You're putting a receiver out of there, and it pulls somebody out, and you're like, all right, you got to cover him, and you gain a blocker, you gain a gap. So yes, you're running the ball in Wildcat, so you lose that aspect of surprise. But yes, you go out there, everything hits quicker in Wildcat. You don't have to hand it off. It's direct snap to him. You're getting downhill. You're trying to get to your guy who you know is your best runner in the game, and you go out there and trying to score. And at that point, short yardage is, hey, it's one-on-one, mano-a-mano, hat on a hat. You got to win your block.
Are you surprised that the offensive line hasn't taken that step that I think a lot of us thought they would? That was kind of the expectation year 2 of Bill Callahan, how much retooling they did. Obviously, Bill's no longer around, but how surprised are you that we're here in Week 9 and still talking about the offensive line as a weakness?
Yeah, that's they went and they spent a lot of money this year. They went out there and got a left tackle. They went and got a veteran right guard. You have a first-round right tackle, first-round left guard, and a center who is highly paid also. So you're expecting big performance. You're going to draft a rookie quarterback first overall, and that was supposed to be your strong suit. Yes, Cam holds the ball some. That's what you expect out of a rookie quarterback. But we should be able to line up and run the ball when we want to take some of that pressure off of him, and we haven't done that successfully through in and out. Yes, we have some runs here, but we need to be able to lean on those guys, especially when the winter months are coming up right now. It's not the best climates out there. It's cold. It's wet. Like, hey, let's put the ball in our best players' hands, hand it off to Tony, hand it off to Tajay, and let's run the ball right here at the end of the year.
Your point is well taken about, the winter months approaching, especially because they have a road date at Cleveland where they're going to have to find ways to run the football. And they're just so ineffective, consistently ineffective. Yeah. Like, to your point, they have moments where they're able to break a run here or there. Like, right. I think Pollard the week previous had a run of 10, a run of 12. Tajay obviously trying to get involved there as well. Them trying to get Tajay more involved, or at least used in different ways. And then you have the unknown of the trade deadline, and will Tony Pollard even be here by the time they get back from the bye, which at least teams were calling about Tony Pollard, according to Diana Rossini. She put out a couple of nuggets in her newsletter on Saturday. And, of course, we have a little more than 24 hours before the trade deadline comes and goes. But I just keep coming back to it, Ben. Like, they can't protect Cam the way that Cam needs to be protected if they can't run the football and take the pressure off him. He shouldn't be dropping back this many times a game the way that he has.
Yeah, 100%. You want to be able to stay in. You want to be able to run the ball. You want to be running your boots, your play action. So it's easy reads. You're getting the ball out of his hands. You don't want to sit there in third and long and have to hold up, because that's no offensive lineman. That's not fun. Like, it's past. They're pinning their ears back. They're rushing. Yes, those guys are really good on the edge. You don't want to live in that. Yes, you can do it a couple times a game, but the rest of that is a hard living. And I don't care how good you are, how much you make, that's not easy for anybody.
What was your bye week kind of ritual or especially
full body cast?
Yeah. Well, especially early in the career when you're not nearly as banged up as you were towards the end. And obviously you were playing on that Texans team that was struggling, that fired its head coach. What was kind of your, modus operandi at that moment?
Yeah, it's a reset. You sit there, you're going in the meeting room, you're going back and looking at, hey, what were we successful for? What technique can I clean up? Because it's kind of like, hey, we were really good on this play. Hey, let's find different ways to run this run. Or, hey, we struggled in this protection. Is it your eyes? Is it your technique? So you're cleaning up some of those mistakes the first 2 days when you're watching film. You're going out there and doing a lot of individual work because you're really not preparing for a team that week. So you're doing some indie, getting ready for drills. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you get away from it. Like, for me, I went home, I went hunting, saw my family in Alabama. That was, I think I've done that every bye week. Everybody say, oh, you going to a Georgia game? No. I don't want to watch any football on Friday and Saturday and Sunday that week. I want to get back. I want to reset so I come back and I'm ready to go again on that Monday. Because, yes, you need to step away from it. You need some time to, hey, spend some time with family, spend some time with friends. But your job is to be good on Sundays and come back and be ready to work the next week.
The rookie quarterback does not want to do any of that, according to him last night at the postgame press conference. This was Cam Ward after the Titans lost 27-20 to the LA Chargers. Oh, you weren't ready? Cam Ward, please. I said it in your ear. I didn't. Maybe you didn't hear me.
No, I was cutting the other thing you asked for.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This team maybe use the bye week to reset, and what do you hope the mindset is when you guys come back to finish off this thing?
I think it'd be used for us as a reset to, think about the situation we in with the wins and losses, and you got to have the right mindset to go for it. Go from it for there. We got to try to get on the run out there bye week. And I'm excited for it. We got a great group of guys on both sides of the ball. But the biggest thing for us out of the bye week is offense. We have to be better. We haven't showed anything these first couple of games, half the games we played this year. So we got to be better for the defense and special teams.
Do you feel like you need this bye personally? We hear so much about the rigors of a rookie season, rookie wall, all that stuff. How much do you need the reset mentally?
I don't need the reset. I can play every week, if I'm able to, if I'm healthy to. Because I'm getting better every week. The game is the same for all of us rookies. It's just about, just us executing the game plan and not putting ourselves in a negative situation. It's too many times where I have a bad play or a bad couple plays and, just derails the offense. And, I got to be better, on my job and then, help lead these guys and try to win when we get back from the bye week.
All right, so he says it's great for everybody except for me. I want to play next week.
That's what you want. That's what he's supposed to say. He's your leader of your team. He's a guy you haven't won football games. That's exactly what you should be saying into the media. No matter what your plans are, what you're planning to do, that's what he needs to say. Like, he shouldn't be saying, "Oh, I'm going to Miami. I'm going to hang out and blow some steam off." No, he is your starting quarterback. You
Literally me.
That's what you're supposed to hear from your starting quarterback. He wants to win. He's ready to prepare for the next week. That's why we drafted him.
No, to your point, I mean, I remember Brian Callahan at the end of last season answering a question like that, like, yeah, it's going to be good to get away for a little bit, which is not like it can be a human thing and also be true, but it's not necessarily something you want to hear from an NFL head coach at the podium after you just went 3-14.
Like, just lie. Just say, no, we're going to be here locked in, and then get out of here.
Yeah,
just go wherever you go.
Just lie to me and tell me you're sleeping on an air mattress in the facility, bud. Like, I don't want to hear how good it's going to be for you to get away. Yes, we all agree that we're ready for this thing to be over. But
Plus,
to your point, it's good of Cam Ward to take that approach.
His former football team, probably out of the playoff anyway. I don't know. I don't know if you would want to go watch Miami play Syracuse this weekend. They're done. Toast.
Speaking of toast, Hugh Freeze got fired.
Another one bites the dust.
Well, we can talk about the Auburn specifically and the rate of buyout that they've done here in the last couple of years, because Auburn is as guilty of this as any other program in college football. And it just adds another name to the cycle. I guess that we were expecting some rate of turnover, given that not a single coach got fired in the SEC last year, right, Lucas?
Correct, which set up for bloodbath carnage this year, and that's what it's been, left and right. My goodness. And I don't know who else isn't safe at this point. I guess all eyes maybe fall on Mark Stoops at Kentucky, but I don't know. He and his athletic director... Who?
They beat Auburn.
They did.
He got Hugh Freeze fired.
That's what I'm saying.
So if Kentucky had lost Hugh Freeze, does Mark Stoops get fired today? I don't know the answer to that question.
Mitch Barnhart, Kentucky athletic director, and Mark Stoops had a pretty big embrace on the sideline after that. So I think Kentucky fans were paying attention to that. Disgusting game, 10-3. But yes, there has been carnage all over the place in the SEC.
Do you like a 10-3 game, or are you more the 47-42 Bengals Bears game yesterday? Did you see that nonsense?
Yeah, that was nuts.
Well, what do you prefer to play in, and what do you prefer to watch aesthetically?
Play in 10-3 because you're running the ball, you're being effective. Everybody's playing well. That means your offense, yes, you're not converting and stuff like that, but that's a hard-fought game. You're not turning the ball over, hopefully. The 42-40, it's draining. Like, you feel like you have to score every single drive. And on that case, you're like, yes, we played great, but you look over to your boys on the other side like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Like, I'd rather take the heat on the offense. Like, yes, we grinded it out. We won it the ugly way. Our defense played lights out. Yes, we can score a couple more points, but that was unreal. No tackling. It was no tackling.
None
in that game
whatsoever. I mean, just really. It turns out Lou Anarumo, who's doing just fine in Indianapolis. I know they didn't win yesterday, but the coach there, not the problem. The players on defense. I mean,
Flacco threw for like 470.
470, career high. Nuts.
A career high for a quarterback that has been in the league. He's 40 flat, I think. Rodgers is slightly older.
He had never thrown for 400 in a game, and he is 40 flat.
He's 18 years into the league. He's on a bum shoulder yesterday.
Yes,
and he throws for a career high. Just insane. Did you see the comments from Chase Brown, the running back, after the fact?
No.
Very rarely it would take. We didn't ask Robert to pull this beforehand, and it would take too long to bleep all of it because he just drops a bunch of F-bombs.
Yeah.
But it's things that you say, the quiet part out loud, Ben. He's essentially being asked. He's got just a slew of media around him in the locker room after the fact. And he's being asked about, what are you thinking when the defense gives up that final score? And he's probably like the same thing that you guys are thinking. What? Like, it literally says, end the effing game.
What the bleep?
Finish the effing game.
Finish the bleeping game. Now, he did say, because that's the quote that goes around, he also said, like, our defense played well earlier this year. They carried us. Yeah. Now we're trying to carry them, but, like, just finish the bleeping game. So, yeah, tough pill to swallow for the Bengals, who lost to the Jets a week ago.
Yeah.
Same way. They were up, should have finished the game, and lost it.
Talk about some college football with Ben Jones. We'll get into the Vols, Vandy as well, and also the firing of Hugh Freeze at Auburn. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Best hot chicken in the world. Ben Jones is in studio with us. So Hugh Freeze gets fired. We mentioned that Auburn lost to Kentucky, a grinded-out, gritty 10-3 win by the Tackle Cats that sees Hugh Freeze exit. He's got a $15 million buyout, which is by nature of the buyouts that we've seen already this year, Ben. It's pennies.
Yeah, he can go golfing.
Next to James. All right, how much of that is overplayed? Like, I kind of feel, not that there's any room for, like, feel bad for Hugh Freeze, especially Hugh Freeze. But, like, I kind of feel like he got a bad rap with, like, all the golf stuff this offseason. Like, I get he's doing the job, unless he's not doing the job like Brian Kelly. And if he's got an extra tee time here or there, I don't know. It's just that felt like an egregious thing that Lane Kiffin just delighted in dragging him across social media with.
No doubt. These coaches, they need some time to get away golf. Like, you talk to different guys. Steve Spurrier loves golf more than anybody. Nobody gave him a hard time about playing golf all the time.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they won. There you go. You win. Everything's better if you're winning.
If you Google Hugh Freeze, I mean, the first picture, he's swinging a golf club. Yeah. Like the first big image, Yellowhammer News, and the headline, Hugh Freeze plays a shocking amount of golf for an SEC head coach. Not Hugh Freeze fired, not here's the buyout, but Hugh Freeze playing golf. And that's what it's been at Auburn.
Okay. Well, you now have a situation, and Lucas sent this into the Twitter group before the show started, Ben. This is a tweet from Chris Lowe, who's now at On3 Sports. The Auburn head football coach will be the Tigers' fourth in 7 years with a total of $52.5 million in buyout money paid to 3 coaches not to work. And Chris Lowe ends the tweet with buyout you. Now, in Auburn's defense, they're paying 3 coaches what Miami and LSU are paying 1. So it's not to justify this.
And Penn State. And,
All right, I'm sorry. I said Miami.
Yeah, Penn State.
Penn State and Miami are paying 1, and I'm sure
Penn State and LSU. You said Miami again.
Okay. I don't know. I'm literally thinking about the beach. I got a flight to Miami tomorrow.
He's ready. That's where
I'm
you go.
Just go home. Just go.
I'm happy to.
That's Gus Malzahn. That's Brian Harsin. And that is now Hugh Freeze. And Ben, Auburn hasn't had more than 6 wins in a season since before COVID.
Crazy.
Like, you grew up in that ecosystem, right? You played against them in this householdest rivalry. That's just so, that is approaching the territory that Tennessee was in for a decade plus after that 2008 season and onward.
I remember growing up and Auburn won like 5 or 6 in a row versus Alabama. It was like, give them the fear the thumb. The thumb.
Fear the thumb.
It was nuts. Like, my hometown is literally, they don't watch pro football. It is divided, Alabama, Auburn, and that's all they care about. Like, I have buddies that I'm in a group message with. They watch every single sport from basketball, baseball, football. I'm like, y'all watch everything? They're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're like, basketball starts this weekend. I'm like, college? They're like, yep. I'm like, oh my goodness, y'all are killing me.
I can't imagine what it's like to be an Auburn fan. Have we checked in on Dawn? I suppose you can at 3:00 today.
Her Duke Blue Devils won on the football side in the shootout against Clemson. Dabo was out there reaming out his defense, and Clemson's just falling apart. 46-45, the final.
There's no world in which Dabo gets fired, right? Like, if you're Clemson, why would you fire a coach right now? I'm honestly surprised Auburn did it just because, like, how good is the Auburn job compared to LSU, compared to Florida, compared to all these Penn State? Like, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised Auburn did it. It gets toxic down there.
Yeah.
They have lost a couple games with some pretty bad officiating. The Oklahoma game.
The Georgia game.
The Georgia timeout clapping debacle. So they've not been fortunate.
Look how tickled he is.
Yeah.
He got away with that.
Yeah. It was karma. We missed a field goal. It all came back. We didn't.
Karma.
Yeah, karma. Karma happened.
But Hugh Freeze swinging and missing on quarterbacks is what got him fired at Auburn.
Saying they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, and the unreasonable setting of expectations at media days. He said playoffs, which, okay, tip of the cap, but Peyton Thorne, turnover city last year. And then Jackson Arnold, you had your pick. There were options out there in the portal. They went with Arnold, and it's been a revolving door, and Hugh Freeze is done. So where to you does Auburn kind of stack up right now in this current climate with the likes of LSU and Florida now being open?
They have players. Like, you're looking at their defense. They have a great D-line. They have talent. They have one of the best receivers in college football, Cam Coleman. So it's not like a lack of talent they have there. Yes, they haven't executed in some big games. They've been right in it, honestly. They've played a good game against Georgia, the Oklahoma game, the Kentucky game. They've been in games. It's not like they're getting blown out. So I'm thinking like, hey, it's not like I'm going to a bad roster if I'm a coach. I can bring in some key pieces. Yes, I got to clean up the quarterback position. But I think it's a good job. Like, yes, they give you a couple years. They gave you 2.5, 3 years. Like, they're going to give you 2 years. You just got to play well and beat Alabama once every 2 or 3 years.
Tennessee needed to play well at home against Oklahoma, and whether it was Joey Aguilar in the first half, or I know Josh Heupel got a fair amount of scrutiny in the second half for the way that they did not finish that game. What did you make of the way that Oklahoma played Tennessee, and what did you make of Aguilar's performance?
That's one of those games you look at the first half, Tennessee should have been up by multiple touchdowns. Like, they
outgaining them like 3-1.
Dominated. Like, dominated the first half, and nothing showed from it. And like, they literally, both sides of the ball, they were playing great. And I'm just like, how do you keep messing this up? If it's from missed kicks to picks, and just like, you're like, golly, it's just like a perfect storm happened over there. And they just kept them in the game. Then finally, a couple big plays by Oklahoma just broke it up.
I think this is one of the worst losses of the Heupel era. Like,
he's getting a lot more criticism today than I can remember after any loss.
Aside from the South Carolina loss, which has to be the worst, right? You went in as
2 years ago,
18-point favorites.
Yeah.
Your path to the playoff, the 4-team playoff is clear.
They were the number one team in the country before that game, right?
No, because they had lost to Georgia.
That's right.
They were the number one team going into the Georgia game. But if they controlled their destiny pretty much to go to the playoff and gave up 60 against South Carolina. But this is one you had it all in front of you. Like Ben said, shooting yourself in the foot. 2 bad interceptions in Oklahoma territory. David Sanders, you've got a freshman right tackle, 5-star freshman, just whiffing, missed assignment. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Blindside hit on Aguilar. 70-yard scoop and score. Yeah. At that point, you were marching down the field, ripping off chunk plays. You had gone down with ease on the opening drive, and there you were looking like you were about to go up 14-0, and suddenly it looks like, okay, here we go. This could be a rout. And back the other way, it's 7-7. And to your point, the numbers were so in favor of Tennessee, yet you're trailing at halftime. And it's like, what happened? Missed a 37-yard field goal, just offense getting in its own way. Second half, you just can't run the ball. 4 running back carries in the second half, too. They got away from the run. Deshaun Bishop had one carry in the second half. Yep. And then the 4th and 1. I want to get your thoughts on the 4th. You know the play I'm talking about, right?
Off the face mask.
Pretty much the same play they ran on the goal line at Alabama for Miles Kitselman that gets housed on a pick 6. Except instead of Miles Kitselman, leader, veteran, it's a freshman tight end.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Obviously, the play was there, and it goes off his face mask, dropped, turnover on downs. Your fate is essentially sealed at that point. Are you one that says, no, players not plays, you can't be throwing to a freshman in that spot that has maybe 2 or 3 catches on the year? Right. Or are you saying, no, you have to execute there?
Yeah, you want him to execute. They trust him enough to put him in that formation, get him the ball. Yes, you need to execute it. But I always say, get your guys, your playmakers the ball in critical situations. You know they're comfortable. They've had catches throughout the game. Get your guys the ball in critical situations. Hey, if it's running your quarterback, if it's throwing it to your receivers, your tight ends that you've been using the whole game, put your playmakers in those spots to make the best plays. That's the ones you want making them. You trust them. Give them the ball.
So Tennessee falls 9 spots in the AP poll. They're down to 23. It's the biggest drop of any team that suffered a loss this weekend. Georgia Tech drops 8 spots after the NC State loss. Vandy 6, and Cincinnati 8 after losing to Utah in a blowout loss. We are not, or at least I'm not going to be here when the initial college football playoff rankings come out tomorrow, and you're going to talk about those on Wednesday. Where do you expect Tennessee to come in?
It doesn't really matter.
As long as you're not, if you're not in the top 10 to 12.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're done. It would take a pretty crazy collapse all over college football at this point for a 3, especially.
Could happen.
Sure, but okay, let's say Tennessee runs the table. You're looking at then a situation where your best win, your best resume building win in that scenario would be a home win over Vanderbilt, which would be a good win against the 9-3 Vanderbilt team. But would there be another 3-loss SEC team that has a better resume than you do? Tennessee's done. They're out of the playoff picture. And at this point, they're playing for their first win in Gainesville in over 2 decades. And they're playing for a chance to keep Vanderbilt out of the playoff and not have that insult to injury of Vandy getting in and you not getting in, because Vandy with the second loss now has no room for error down the stretch. But this was frustrating. The Alabama game, Tennessee was the biggest reason that they were not in that game at the end of the fourth quarter. Right? I'm not going to say Tennessee was the biggest reason they lost. Alabama's a really good football team. To say that would say that if Tennessee doesn't make those mistakes, they win the game. I don't know that they win that game. I know they're in the game.
Yep.
And it's not a 17-point loss if they don't make those mistakes. But Tennessee was the biggest reason they lost the Oklahoma game, straight up.
Yep.
With that environment and the dark mode, and it was just rocking, man. Like I saw,
It was sick.
the entire Oklahoma beat, most of whom had been to Neyland for the first time, tweeting like, "Okay, that was amazing." And you just look at that and you're like, man, what a missed opportunity. And it's the first time since 2022 that Heupel loses to a team not named Georgia inside of Neyland Stadium.
Wow. That's nuts.
So, speaking of Georgia, take me through your emotions on Saturday. 24-20 over Florida.
Yep.
Florida with their interim coach, Billy Gonzalez, I believe is his name.
That's correct.
Who was coaching the Gators, and their defense continues to be good. In Florida, they just can't get anything out of DJ Lagway, but it was enough to at least make you sweat, I'm sure, Ben.
Yeah, it's every game. It's every game.
Yeah, but this was different.
Yeah. I'm glad Lagway wasn't. He missed some throws late in the game. Thank goodness. Because they were killing us with the freshman receiver, Wilson. Every time, in any critical moment, he was open. Yes, he missed him a couple times late. Hallelujah. But, yeah, that game's been the same way last year. They came out hot. Then Lagway got hurt at halftime, pulled a hammy, and we came back and won. Every week, I think it's 5 straight games me and Lucas were just talking about. We were either losing or tied at half and find a way in the fourth quarter. We're losing the third quarter most games. Finding a way to win, and it gets your blood boiling by the fourth quarter. I'm glad we win, though. That's what it matters. We're winning games, but I would love to dominate a game. Come out, play good the first half, come out, play good second half. Ooh, that'd be fun. That'd be great.
What's missing for them, Georgia?
That's the thing. I was like, hey, we're not that good on defense. Then, boom, we played good this week on defense. Then, hey, our offense has been playing really well. We kind of look stale this week. Missed some throws. Gunner's been playing lights out. He's been playing elite. You give him his credit. Yes, he doesn't look like some huge 5-star flashy quarterback. He gets the job done. He delivers the ball to playmakers. And when we have to have it, yes, he's going to make plays. Yes, he makes the smart decision in the game. He runs for the first down. He takes a knee. You don't have to put your defense in a situation to get anybody else hurt. Yes, we won the game. Yes, we could have won by 10. What's that matter? We won the game. But I would just love a complete game. Hey, if it's kicking, punting, defense, offense, hey, let's get together. Let's play 4 quarters, not give them 14-point lead every single week. What are we missing in the breakdown? Hey, yes, we're great at making halftime adjustments, but can we have those fixed before the game starts sometimes? That'd be nice.
I'm sure Vanderbilt fans feel the same way. They got dusted early. I mean, what was it, a 70-yard touchdown to open the game for Texas on the first play from scrimmage, and then Pavia turns around and fumbles it away on the ensuing possession and puts Texas in position to capitalize in the red zone right out of the gate. And they get 21 points in the fourth quarter. Lucas, you said you turned the game off.
I was stunned to see that they stormed back and almost that onside kick. Oh my goodness, they should have got it.
It's the perfect time to hit one. It's flooding, raining. They just scored in. I'm all the momentum. Hey, they're gonna have a chance. Phenomenal kick too.
Yeah,
it was there. It was a great kick, and everybody's just sliding, hitting it. If they'd have got that, that would have been.
The linebacker had his arm kind of trying to corral it from going out of bounds on the Vanderbilt sideline.
Yeah,
and then you see some poor equipment guy in the background just drop his head into his hands.
Can you imagine the heat if what's his name would have got Sarkisian would have got if that would have happened? Oh,
if Andy Storm's back to win that game,
at home
to win that
for Texas.
Crazy how similar it was to last year's game at First Bank Stadium, where it was a double-digit lead late for Texas. Vandy scores onside kick and they lose by 3. Deja vu. But Arch Manning,
he looked good.
Has he kind of arrived a little bit? 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Down. He's got my dogs in a couple weeks in Athens. Like, hey, let's not do that no more. Like, go back to old Arch.
And it was kind of like Sarkisian was feeling it too a little bit because they came out dealing with him as a play caller. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm used to seeing with him. Like, hey, multiple formations, motions. Hey, dialing up big plays. That's what you're used to seeing with Texas football. And it finally came alive this week, and just happened to be Vandy. Poor Vandy this week.
Yeah, Vandy, still alive, but not fully in control of their situation moving forward. They dropped to 15 after the loss to Texas, 34-31. But that's like the fourth.
They're going to need some help now.
They're going to need some help. And listen, to Pavia's credit, and they wouldn't shut up about it on a broadcast, and that's fine. They lost the game. But it's just, he's so resilient. He's out there battling. Yeah, but he's part of the reason why they were in the hole to begin with. And I'm not down on Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
And I'm not turning heel on Vanderbilt or anything like that.
He led that charge. Like, his numbers ended up looking great in the passing game.
He delivered it at the end.
He had like 300-plus yards passing. He was
365.
He was very impressive late, so I'm not down on it, but I'm like, they put themselves in a hole early, though, and he was a big part of it. Like, I get that he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He's out there battling. I don't know. Like, the analysis of, look at how great Diego Pavia is. Yeah, but Texas came out and handled business.
Yeah, they looked like they had the superior roster early on. Like, yes, they have a lot of talent over at Texas, and it showed in that first half.
Oh, that defensive front was just all over him.
Yes, and they're 5 stars after 5 stars, making millions of dollars, and it showed. In the second half, like, hey, I think they kind of like, all right, take a deep breath. Yes, they absolutely whooped us. They were better than we thought. They've been running on this high of winning games, thinking they're the better team, all that. And that was the first, like, kick in the mouth they've actually got on offense, and you give them credit. They are resilient. They came back and made some plays and made it a game. But the whole time you're saying, like, man, Texas looked really good that first half.
And not to make this a different conversation, but like the talent deficit. Like, I've been waiting for Texas to meet the moment 100%. Based on what they've got on their roster versus Vanderbilt, who's a more talented team than they've been, but there's clearly a gulf between those two. And
that's the whole Saban thing. Like, he always says, like, you look at Vandy, you're not expecting them to be able to compete with, the LSUs and stuff like just sheer talent they have. But now they're well coached. They play hard. Yes, they can make up for some of that talent. That was the first game you saw, like, hey, that defensive line is bigger, better, and they looked at that game.
But
that was the first time, like, you really seen, like, hey, they were outmatched early on.
But that's why, like, the Indiana thing makes no sense to me because they have less talent than Vanderbilt does.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any damn sense. And I know that they're not playing the toughest schedule or anything like that, but just 55-10 over Maryland. They're just stomping teams out that they are more talented than. And I keep waiting for the moment where the Vandy thing happens to Indiana like it just did in Austin.
Well, they go to Penn State this week, and
Which would be the thing, right?
And they don't have Drew Aller, and
but they've got double-digit draft picks on their football team,
and they fought in that Ohio State game, and it was a close game. Kind of throughout
38-14.
So, is that the final?
Yeah, they didn't do anything in the second half.
Okay, all right.
How many games did you turn off at half and just like, enough of this?
Yeah, they played them well in the first half. Then the second half, it was all Ohio State. That's one of those rosters that are scary. They're getting better as the year going on. And Julius saying he is playing right now.
Pretty good.
He's like Ty Simpson. Both of them are playing really well, and they were both at Alabama.
All right, you got Bulldog on Bulldog crime coming up this weekend, right? You got Mississippi State?
Oh, yeah. That's not a true Bulldog.
On the road, right?
They're coming to Athens.
Oh, okay. All right.
Feel good about that one. Sorry, Jeff. Love you, Jeff.
No lack of confidence. Yeah, Jeff needs a win at this point in time. Ben Jones every Monday in the 11 o'clock hour. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Good seeing y'all.
That is Ben Jones. We'll take your phone calls. Coming up next, 615-737-1045. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Zone. Not a great weekend for the state of Tennessee regarding football. Titans lose, Vandy loses, Vols lose as well. Memphis getting it done against Rice, I believe, is who they beat.
Can't lose to food.
Can't lose to food. Memphis did not.
Are they the only food school? I know Josh Pate says that, but like.
Oh, was that a Pate line that you stole
that's
and then didn't
100%.
credit?
100%.
The second time he did it. He stole Glennon's stat about how many sacks since 2021. No credit.
No, now,
Did you also
I saw
steal,
that from Titans PR, to be fair. I did not see Glennon tweet that. With respect to JG, we got to get JG on sometime.
Did you also steal the Latin phrase that you tried to hit Ben Jones with from Josh Pate?
I stole it from the Latin language.
Who taught you that?
I speak Latin.
Oh, let's hear
you
something.
don't. No, I don't.
Okay, give us something then.
I don't speak
He's
Latin.
just a liar.
That is a common phrase. Modus operandi is that is something that's a thing that you hear.
He's just
I'm
started
sorry.
lying in volume at this point and hoping that we don't catch all of his lies.
All right. Well, you
It's
didn't
exhausting.
even sound confident
Like
spitting
a political
it out.
strategy.
I went and cut this, and I want everyone out there to listen to and how comfortable you felt sharing this with.
Situations you guys continue to go.
Oh, no, that's not it.
That's TD.
That's me being a dumbass. Here we go. Much easier.
What was your bye-week kind of ritual, or what was kind of your modus operandi at that moment?
What was your modus operandi at that moment?
It's a perfectly reasonable way to ask that.
What? Okay, Mr. Latin
I'm sorry
boy.
you
Mr.
aren't
Latin
intellectual
boy.
enough to keep up over here.
Oh, so you're going to talk down to us.
Hey, I took 2 years of Latin because it counted as a foreign language, and I took Greek and Latin vocab. So if you want to talk Latin, we can opportune studorum or whatever the hell they talk about over there. But there's a reason it's a dead language, dude. It's a dead language. I want you to pull that crap.
It's not
when
dead.
Brett Kern comes in here.
It's still spoken in the form of Italian.
Let's just ask him. Let's just ask him. Let's see what he's doing. Let's see what his modus operandi
This is
is.
such a weird place to work that in.
feel
Just
like
say,
you
what was your MO?
Yeah.
What was your bye-week MO?
I feel like
That's
you.
what pops into my head.
What was your modus operandi in that situation?
How long did you have that in your pocket? And you thought like Ben was going to be like, oh, wow, this guy's a scholar. What a genius.
I bet if you bragged to Ben about your 8th grade spelling bee championship in the state of Alabama, he'd be like, yeah, but it's in Alabama.
He'd be impressed.
Give us one more Latin phrase. What's your favorite Latin phrase? 615-737-1045.
Et tu, Brute? It's an all-timer.
Shut. Okay, I forgive you.
One of
That
the
was
classics.
funny. I forgive you. That was
That was
funny.
a good joke.
That was good.
It's just funnier saying it to Ben. Like Ben of all people. Just be like, yeah, I went hunting. Jared is in Franklin.
De facto.
What's up, Jared?
Hey, guys. I don't think there's any chance that Heupel would consider doing this, but don't you think it'd be what's best for next season to start George McIntyre the rest of the way?
Lucas?
I mean, at that point, you're just punting on the season, right? And I get that you're pretty much out of playoff range and that, that's not fun to be sitting here having that conversation on November 3rd. But also, I think going into the season, we were all under this kind of, okay, what is this going to look like, right? This big question mark at quarterback, 8-4. I mean, I even called it like almost a gap year, right? Like, see what you can get out of this season, win a few games, and then lock and load for 2026. You got a 5-star quarterback coming in. And then the Georgia game happened, and they were, a 37-yard field goal away from winning that game. And suddenly...
Was it even 37? I don't know. It felt, I mean, I can't remember exactly, but still.
But suddenly the entire expectation got changed to, oh, nope, this is a playoff team. It's playoff or bust. And it sucks because if a few things go differently against Oklahoma and against Georgia, you're sitting here with one loss, and you are very much in the driver's seat to go to the playoff and even have an outside shot to get to Atlanta. But it hasn't happened that way. Now you're back to kind of your preseason expectations. I don't think that means punt on everything. Now, I do understand this era of having to keep kids around, right? And I heard Brent Hubbs on the VolQuest podcast earlier this morning say, no, you don't, throw the season away, but you probably should put him in a little earlier than you normally would against New Mexico State, right? Now you do kind of have to start working those angles with kids that may have or certainly are going to have people come knocking for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's just such a tough spot for Aguilar. Like he didn't perform, right? Like he ultimately didn't perform at the end of the day. That's the job. And so if your performance suffers, then they have the right to make a change if they feel it's necessary to make a change. But it sucks because he's a good story and it's been a fun watch and it's been unexpected. And I think we readjusted expectations after the Georgia loss, to your point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That would just be such a tough spot to pull him for the rest of the season.
No. You try to go 9-3. You try to go win in Gainesville. You try to get the best bowl game you can and build momentum for next season. If he gave you the best
chance to win, the other guy would be out there. McIntyre would be out there. Let's go to, do you want to take calls on Latin phrases or Cam Ward?
Yes.
Mix them in.
All right. Why don't we sandwich the Cam Ward call with some Latin phrases? What do you got, Andrew?
All right. I'm going to shout out my Latin teacher in Clarksville High School, Mr.
No free shout out, sorry.
Oh, come on. It's a teacher.
Oh, man. He's a teacher, great guy. Vanderbilt alum, too. So there you go. We don't give out Vanderbilt shout outs on Tennessee radio, though. Anyways, best Latin phrase, he stood up at the end of our Latin 2 class, right? I've taken Latin 1, I've taken Latin 2. Stood up, wrote on the whiteboard 3 words. He said, if anybody ever asked, what'd you learn in Latin class? You tell them this. He wrote on that board, verbum tibi mater, which is Latin for word to your mother. I'm out.
All right, very good.
Nice.
Poor teacher didn't even get the name out there. Robert timed that perfectly. He potted him down and back up just to omit the name of the teacher he's trying to shout out.
It was cool what you did.
Well, big shout out to... Sure, he was a great teacher.
Yeah. Buckwheat is next.
Hey, Buck.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I just wanted to talk. I'm surprised my cousin Paul hadn't called in and talked to you about this, but not a Titans fan, but, I watch them every week. And has anybody called in and talked about Cam Ward's footwork? He might need to go to the Manning Passing Academy. It's just terrible. He's one hopping the ball to Van Jefferson. It's just hard to watch.
I appreciate the call.
I'll hang up and listen to what you got to say.
Yes, sir.
I thought he was going to give us a Latin phrase.
That would have been funny.
If that guy had a podcast, you'd have to listen to it on 3 times speed.
So people have brought up Cam Ward's footwork. We have brought up Cam Ward's footwork with the coaching staff. We've brought it up with Cam. He did have a bad pass or a bad attempt in the direction of Van Jefferson that Buckwheat just brought up, and that was probably his worst throw of the day. Where it's just kind of like I had to look back at the replay in the press box and see if the ball slipped again out of his hands if it was that kind of a situation. No, it's just a bad pass. So
it was like a 3rd and 11, and Van is wide open to convert. And I guess he just didn't even have a base, right? He's kind of throwing on the move and turning his body and almost just dirts it.
All right, so just to summarize quickly, it's an off-season thing. The mechanic stuff that he's going to have to clean up is going to be an off-season thing. And it's not like they're not repping it at practice and stuff like that, but to really drill down on the granular stuff that he's going to need to fix, he's going to have to do it in the offseason. So they're doing the best with what they can right now. I know that's not good enough because they're losing games, but he's a work in progress on a couple of different fronts. That's one of them. All right, one more Latin phrase. Ann.
Hi, guys. My Latin teacher was the teacher of the first guy's teacher, Dr. Warren.
All right, keep that. All right, Ann.
No, we got a first name. We got a first name before he faded her down. All right, what do you got, Ann?
All right, so I have 3. I think they all pertain to the Titans. The first one is from the Aeneid. It is Dux Femina Facti, the woman having been made the leader. The next one, Forsan et haec ole meminisi julavit. Perhaps one day it will be pleasing to have remembered these things. I think that's how I felt when I really, really missed certain O-line people that I thought I would hate. And then other things happened. And finally, I will refer to Catullus 16, Google that later if you want to know the full words, but it is pedicabo et irumabo, which translates to I will bleep you in the bleep and the bleep.
Whoa!
Wow. Yes.
And with the strong dismount. Yes, all things representative of a Titans viewing experience. Well done by Ann.
Do we dump that?
No, I think we're.
What's the FCC stance on dead languages?
Yeah, I'm not
No. Oh, you like when we play like
you didn't think she said bleep, and that wasn't bleep in Latin.
Did they censor
We
things?
bleepius, los bleepius. Someone had put in the chat, Cam Ward in Latin is Vesuvius Asuvius.
Brett Kern next.
It is 12:01. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Titans head into the bye week at 1-8 after a 27-20 loss to the Chargers at Nissan Stadium. Titans had a pick six from Cody Barton, a punt return for a touchdown from Chimere Dike, but only scored 6 points on offense as they fall and are off this weekend. Interim coach Mike McCoy meets with the media coming up at 1:30. College basketball tonight. Number 18 Tennessee opens its season against Mercer. You can hear the Vol Network call right here on The Zone, picking up in the second half. Vandy hosting Lipscomb tonight for a 7 p.m. tip. Belmont opens up against Air Force. That tip-off at 6:30 at the Curve Center. NFL trade deadline is tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Central. Tomorrow also the first CFP rankings of the 2025 season. Tennessee likely out of contention after their third loss Saturday against Oklahoma at home. Vanderbilt picking up its second loss of the season at Texas. Monday Night Football, the Cowboys host the Cardinals, who are without Kyler Murray again at quarterback. Jacoby Brissett gets the start. Kickoff at 7:15. You can hear the Westwood One call right here on The Zone. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Final hour is upon us on this Monday. Brett Kern is in studio. He is not victorious. His picks were not great. Neither were mine. We both finished with losing records on the weekend. I was able to scrounge out one victory in college, but just because I picked against Vanderbilt in Austin. Good to see you, bud.
Not a great week of picks. Very bad. 2-6. 0 for 4 in college. And wasn't great, but I will say this: as bad as the weekend was, Blue Jays losing. I mean, at least Nashville SC got the dub, forced a game 3, and picks weren't great. Obviously, the Titans losing, but it's great. It's a great day in our house because my wife is crushing her famous pumpkin bread, and it is it's a great reminder for her and I because this is when I was cut from the Broncos this week. And our neighbors in Denver gave us this recipe, and she's been making it every year since. And it's just a reminder of, for us, God's blessings in our life, where sometimes you think things happen that aren't great. And you don't really understand why. But this bread is symbolic of, his goodness and his faithfulness. So it's there will be none left for you on Friday. I will promise you that.
Why would you tell us then, Brett?
Just because
it was all leading up to something.
I'll tell you what. I think she makes like the big loaves and then these little mini loaves.
Don't do it.
I will make a pitch to save a mini loaf for you, and there's a good chance that when I come here Friday, there will be 3/4 of it will be gone.
Fair enough.
So I will give you a quarter.
If your wife is willing to pinch a loaf off for us, I would be willing to throw in ever how much money, ever how much materials. I mean, I would be willing to adorn an apron and come in there and bake myself, but you let us know what we need to do. Next time you come in, we'll have tacos for you.
Yeah, there we go.
Stop ordering tacos. Maybe you get some pumpkin bread.
I will tell you that soup, whatever soup you brought in, that smells good.
Yeah. Chicken spinach,
cream of something.
Well, that's a lovely thing that you and your family do.
It is.
It's a great reminder for
the
us.
two of them immediately made it about themselves and the fact that they're not getting any of your special pumpkin bread. That your family gets to celebrate a pivotal moment in everybody's lives for the Kern family. No, give me some pumpkin bread.
Pumpkin bread is underrated. Banana bread gets all the love, and banana bread has its place.
But it's so good, and it's like this cinnamon sugar topping that just melts when she puts it on there. I know when I get home, they should be the sugar should be nice and coagulated. It's gonna be good.
Coagulated sugar. It's dirty talk on a Monday.
Is coagulated Latin? Is that my phrase I can use?
We'll get a slew of calls telling us otherwise if it's not. Anyway, so Beyond the picks, there was a special teams play. We've been waiting for Chimray DK to break one, and they have been, unfortunately, for the Titans, heavily penalized on a lot of these situations that have robbed him of previous opportunities to score. But he finally takes one to the house for 67 yards, Brett. The last time it happened, 2012, December the 30th,
Renaud,
2012.
Right?
Darius Renaud.
Yeah. Titans legend.
That is correct. So you've seen them
been close a lot,
and they got a couple of pivotal blocks in this situation to get that touchdown back to the house.
Yeah, because they opened, the opening kickoff. DK took out to the 40, and there was a holding penalty on Chestnut, which brought him back, a good 22 yards, which is not what how you want to start the game. But thankfully, on that punt return, it was only a matter of time. DK's too good. He's at a 71-yarder on kickoff, which is great. Punt. He's kind of been held a little bit in check, and there's been a couple that he's had where he's done a really good job of catching it on the that 5 to 10 yard line and getting out past the 20, which is huge for field position. So, J.K. Scott, right-footed punter, his power alley is kind of those right numbers, and so obviously Bones had something dialed up, a awesome wall return. You saw all the guys that were they set up that wall, and you could tell they made corrections. As far as blocking, the proper way to block, no blindside blocks or anything like that. And then Chestnut, took care of JK, kind of the last final block, which is a good block because he probably could have pushed him in the back, which would have negated everything, but he blocked him properly, just kind of walling him off. So, DK's been huge for this team. He's probably going. I'd say he's for sure a Pro Bowler at this point, but he's going up against Malik Washington in Miami, who's a guy that does both. He's averaging a little bit higher than DK, maybe a yard on kickoff return, and DK's got 14 more than anybody else in the league, right? I think is it Miles Price from Minnesota? I think he's second. But there's a lot of guys just kind of stuck around that 26, 27 yard return average. But then obviously DK with his punt return. Yesterday vaulted him up to 19.5, which is first in the league. So, good for him. It's like I said, he kind of has the Mark Mariani is just super shifty with his hips, and it can just keep going with he can maintain his speed while shifting his hips, which is really I think that's why he's so successful. So love to watch him. Would not like to punt to him or even kickoff return to him. So it was good to see them finally take one of the house.
When you said he had a stat that puts him in the same vein as Mariani earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, he goes over 1,000 kickoff return yards, which leads the NFL. Now, to your point, his average is 26.4, and that has him down. Let's see.
There's a lot of guys that have like 4 returns, 7 returns. Yeah. But if you're talking about like meat and potatoes, guys that are probably at this point in the season over 20 returns. Luke McCaffrey. I think he's averaging 30 in Washington.
29.6, yeah.
Yeah. And
got hurt last night, unfortunately.
I think he's 15, 16 returns less than DK.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing, is the volume is there
the
for
volume,
the kickoffs.
which will then increase, the odds of special teams penalties. You're looking at 14 more returns just on kickoff alone. You're going to get a penalty or two. So,
but over 1,000 kickoff return yards for DK in his rookie year. He joins Mariani, who you mentioned, and Pac-Man Jones as the only rookies in the Titans era to do that. Or not even just Titans, I believe franchise history, actually, going back to Oilers. So
that's crazy.
And he's got a chance. He's on pace to blow past those guys in the total numbers. He's kind of what we thought, we hoped the Titans would have in Jaquan Jackson, right?
Yeah. I think, too, just to see the value that DK has now with, Tyler Lockett being gone, his increase in role on offense. So sometimes you get some of these special teams guys, these returners, and they're just strictly returners. But the value that DK has of being, a Pro Bowl, potentially All-Pro returner on top of how he's producing on offense and how he's producing. That's you want to talk about a heck of a draft pick, 4th round. That's doing some work right there.
Well, and, things are always nitpicked in the draft process, at least while we sit there in the media room. And I think most of us were confused because he was the first pick in the 4th round, if I'm not mistaken. There was a handful.
He was
of
the Titans' first pick, yeah. Or are you saying he was the first pick overall? Of the fourth
you
round?
might check if he wasn't the first pick overall in the 4th round because they had options on the board. Gunnar Helm, Alec Iamander were later in that 4th round, and I know it depends on what your preferences are. I'm sure if you're somebody who's scouting players in the college draft process, but Chimere Dike was not a name that I think most of us, at least in the Titans media room, were familiar with when they took him. And obviously, he has since paid dividends plus as a 4th round pick.
He was.
That they had. He was the first pick in the 4th round?
He was the first pick 103, first pick in the 4th round. And then, obviously, Helm was pick 120.
Iamander was 136.
And Iamander, that's right. Yep.
So, with all the things that they were able to do yesterday, the offense still falls short, Brett. And Robert, how many punts did you say they've had on the year? Because they're definitely getting their money out of Johnny Hecker. 42?
I believe it was 42. That's
42.
Right. Tied for the second most.
Yeah, they cannot sustain on offense. And yesterday, again, they had gotten away from the penalties, the pre-snap penalties, and all of a sudden there's 7 in the first half.
Yeah.
And you're just nuking yourself at every turn.
And then none at the second half, which is just odd. I don't know.
That is kind of odd. I don't know what kind of adjustments they made. I mean, I was kind of noticing, L.A. and how they were rushing Cam. Obviously, they were trying to keep him in the pocket. They were just really rushing hard, even when there's stunts and twists and all that kind of stuff. Because they know Cam's really not one to get out of the pocket. He did a couple times. He rolled out to his right, made a couple good plays, but. When you're relatively predictable, when you're back there, you can obviously, hone in on a couple rushes. And so I think that's what I've talked about previously as far as just adding the element to Cam's game as far as being able to rush. I mean, you saw it yesterday with Herbert. We've seen it with Drake May. Herbert had 9 for 56 or 57 yesterday. I think he was the leading rusher. Over Patterson and Vidal. So, I think it's, like I said, I think it's just an element that he can add to his game. I know he doesn't like to do it, but I think that would just take some pressure off him. And in the offense in general, you add that element. So, it was weird to have 7, and they came on 2 series. Obviously, they did the Wildcat to Pollard and Iamander. Poor guy had to try to block Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
And I was wondering what Cam Ward was doing. He was split out as wide receiver, and it looked like he was they're going to throw like a reverse with it. He started actually running towards Pollard and then realized like this play is getting totally blown up. And then JC's false start, blocked it up or backed it up to 3rd and 16. And that's where, Cam had that throw where it was, looked like he was a shortstop trying to throw it to the first baseman. It just wasn't a great throw, feet and all that kind of stuff. So, thankfully they cleaned it up in the second half, but obviously there's some issues, in that first half that just backed them up and made them predictable.
Well, and just again, this was a situation where Cam has some things that he's got to improve on, but the offensive line, Brett, again, 4 pressures each for both tackles. Dan Moore and J.C. Latham each allowed 4 total pressures. For Moore, it was 2 hurries and 2 sacks. For JC, it was 3 hurries and 1 sack. Zeitler, 2 pressures allowed, 1 hurry, 1 sack. Lloyd Cushenberry allowed a hurry yesterday. Skoronski allowed a hurry yesterday. Peter's done as much as humanly possible for one man, all that one man can do on a 5-man unit. But this Dan Moore situation has just been
and it was
ghastly.
And obviously, as we talked about being predictable, you're down 27-17 in the fourth quarter. You got to throw the ball. The Titans they had some moments where, they were running the ball pretty effectively. And then other times they couldn't do it at all. So, especially, 3rd and 1 on the goal line to not score there is, it's frustrating.
Brutal.
But I think what's even worse is to give up a 15-play, 99-yard drive when statistically, that's like a maybe 2% chance, right, to allow that to happen. So, and that kind of, was the game at that point. But, obviously, like I said, they're in obvious passing situations, a lot of one-on-one matchups. And OA, first one beats Dan, one-on-one with kind of an under rip move. And then the next one, he comes back 2 plays later and beats him with a totally different move, a swim move, to the inside. And, Cam had no chance. So, one of the sacks, end of the half, first half, I think it was a sack, kind of a fumble. It really didn't mean anything. So, but yeah, it's been frustrating just because it's not like the offensive line has been super productive in the run game, and it's not like they've been super productive, in protecting. And it comes to with, Cam, there's obviously times where he's holding the ball too long. It takes two to tango, right, in that situation. So, it's definitely an area that you thought, I'm sure Ben's talked about it a bunch, just you have so much invested into it, whether it's draft picks or financially, and it's just not turning out how you thought it would.
Talk some more NFL because it was a fun day of football yesterday. Crazy day, and we'll do that with Brett Kern coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Brett Kern in studio. We are going to talk about a lot of what happened in the NFL yesterday because obviously it's a local show. We're going to talk Titans. Titans had a game yesterday against the Chargers. But we are now into the part of the season, gentlemen, where this matters a great deal for postseason seeding. And the fact that we are looking at a potential scenario where the Chiefs are an 8 seed or a 7th seed in the AFC at this point after dropping to 5-4 against the Bills is a crazy scenario that I don't think anybody would have had. And I still bet they are favored to make the Super Bowl out of the AFC. I want to start with Seattle and Washington, though. And the biggest news out of that game is that Jaden Daniels dislocated elbow.
Yep.
Not season-ending potentially, but could be. So that Washington health.
That's a huge injury.
Huge.
You know, Tucker Kraft tearing his ACL in Green Bay in a game that trying to figure out what happened on that game yesterday. The Packers didn't punt. They were 53% on third down. Carolina outrushed them, 163 to 104. And, Green Bay had 2 turnovers. Carolina only had 1. But that's one of those you got to scratch your head because we were talking about it last week. Like, Carolina lost to Buffalo at home and just got thrashed. And that's the beauty of the NFL. There's parity. And it's a game that really you can beat anybody every week. And I know Titans fans are probably laughing about that, but theoretically yesterday you were pretty darn close to pulling that game off, and you probably should have based on a pick six, a return, a special teams return for a touchdown. Obviously, the offense, going 1 for 9 on third down doesn't help your equation either. But Sam Darnold last night,
awesome.
21, 24, 330, 4 TDs. He had 1 pick where he threw behind, I think it might have been Horton or Njigba. I'm not sure, but a 141 rating. I mean, my goodness. And that, there's probably some Titans fans out there that are like, could have had that guy. But that's the past. Can't dwell on it. And, he's doing really well.
They don't have the skill players in Tennessee that Seattle does. 16 of 16, 282, and all 4 of those touchdowns in the first half alone for Sam Darnold. He was a machine. And, they had a shot of him after I want to say it was the 3rd touchdown that he threw where he is just, locked the hell in. The expression on his face. I've never seen a shot of Sam Darnold like that before, where he's operating like a completely different player. And obviously there's a lot of things in Seattle. Their defense was gnarly. Jaden Daniels was in hell.
Top 5 defense right there.
Who's the corner that they're talking about potentially trading? The bigger one, not Witherspoon. What's the other one's name? I'm blanking on his name. It's going to drive me crazy. The other outside corner in Seattle. Yeah, Tariq Woolen, because apparently he's not a Mike McDonald scheme fit or whatever, so they're looking at shopping him, which is insane that they have an embarrassment of riches in Seattle and that they are rolling right now. There were so many fun quarterback performances all over the place yesterday because we've had a lot of lopsided results here. It feels like in the last couple of weeks, this is as good of a Sunday as I can remember this season.
You know who you're not going to talk about here? Because we're going to give Darnold Love and Flacco and Josh Allen. These guys were phenomenal. They lost, but Geno Smith was excellent yesterday against the Jaguars. And Tyler Lockett, Titans legend, is wide open in the middle of the end zone on a 2-point try at the end of overtime to win the game, and it gets batted at the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, the Jags are falling on the road to Vegas in a wild game where Cam Little hits a 68-yard field goal to break the NFL record.
Yeah.
Did that make you happy? Because I remember talking about him with you in preseason where he hit that 70-yarder, but it doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Thankfully, he got a 68 with some room to spare. At this point in the season with the weather changing and all that stuff, like I said, I think Brandon Aubrey in Dallas probably has the next best chance to get a crack over 68, 70-yarder in Dallas. Ball flies in there. That's just unbelievable that he was able to do that. And so that would have been a huge game too. That would have put, I think that would have put KC in the A spot. But going forward here, I mean, Kansas City, I think they played Denver this week. They still have to play Denver twice. They still have to play the Chargers. The Colts schedule finishing out. I know they I know they have to play Houston twice, Jacksonville twice. I know they have to play the 49ers, Seattle, the Chiefs. So, and now they're going over to Berlin to play the Falcons, who, a missed extra point yesterday, to try to tie it with the Patriots. They obviously couldn't pull it off. So, two teams coming off a loss. Daniel Jones yesterday, accounting for 5 turnovers, 3 picks. 2 fumbles, and they still somehow almost beat Pittsburgh, only lost by 7. So it's crazy as November, December football, this playoff picture starts to get a little bit more clear and clearer. And here we are with the Ravens, sitting at 3-5, and they still have a 49% chance to get to the playoffs, which is crazy because they're sitting 10th in the AFC. So that's obviously what they think of, the Steelers and the Bengals and, obviously the Browns. But it's crazy.
Yeah, the AFC playoff picture right now, as we sit here I guess we still have one more game to play in Week 9. The 1 through 7 seeds in the AFC, Colts, Patriots, Broncos, Steelers, Bills, Chargers, Jags. Kansas City would be out of the playoff picture in this particular situation as the 8th seed. Baltimore is trying to climb its way out of the basement. Houston losing yesterday helps them. Houston, by the way, CJ Stroud. Did you see that hit?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I didn't see the hit. He hit him in the chest. He was sliding, and he put his shoulder into his chest. But because of that, it just created the leverage for Stroud to his head hit so hard on that turf. Thankfully, he was able to walk off and go to the locker room. But still, Davis Mills coming in a game, 18-15. Broncos get a game-winning field goal, but combined teams were 9-32 on third downs, and both punters. If you love punting, I'm all for it. 16 punts in that game. So
Titans play the Texans out of the bye week in 2 weeks. So we'll see if Stroud is.
But there's still, like I said, November, December, there's still a lot of games. A lot of, the league's been, kind of shifting some of those conference games, in division games later in the season, where it's that whole weird, you play a team November 1st and then you play them again, November 20th. It's weird how they're kind of stacking it up, but, it allows for, like I said, the Chiefs play the Broncos twice and the Colts play, the Texans and the Jaguars twice still. And, I think New England probably has the easier schedule remaining. They still have Buffalo. I think they have Baltimore too as well. But other than that, it's, I think they got the Jets. They might have the Jets twice, maybe once.
Their schedule is awful except for the Ravens and the Bucs, who they play this week.
Play the Dolphins still. So I don't know. I was kind of more curious. At the beginning of the season, I kind of did a turnover margin just to try to find something where it's like, man, how can you tell like a playoff team? What are some indicators? And really, that turnover margin is huge. And so, after last night's games, I kind of went back into, kind of doing a dive. And if I look back at 22, 23, 24 seasons, and this year too, and if you're at 0 in the turnover margin, you finish the season at just flat 0. You had a 71% chance to make the playoffs. If you're top 14, so obviously the 14 teams, if you're top 14, it shot up to 76%. And so, just looking at this year so far, there's 10 teams that are in the playoffs, right? If it were to end today, 10 teams, out of that 14, let's say, 71% are in the playoffs. So that number's really holding true. And you got the Bears leading, with the turnover margin. They're plus 13, but they're sitting 8th, in the NFC. The Texans, they're plus 6, but they're sitting 9th. Really the only oddball is Atlanta. They're plus 4, and they're not, they're 3-5. They have a lot of work to do to be able to catch, especially the NFC West and what the NFC West is doing. And then KC, they're plus 4. They're sitting at 8th, and everybody else is in the playoffs. So it's that's something, just look at the Colts yesterday and what happened with them and the turnovers that they created. And so it's just kind of an interesting thing to look at, going forward, kind of that turnover margin and how teams are able to protect the ball, when this weather gets rough, November, December football.
What is the best division, right? The better quarterbacking division. Is it?
You're going to say the NFC West.
Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, and Matt Stafford with the way they're playing right now? Or
names that all belong together, of course, famously.
Can't forget Jacoby Brissett.
That's right. No disrespect to Jake Brisket, who will play tonight on Monday Night Football.
The barbecue sandwich, Brisket man.
Or is it Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, and Patrick Mahomes? Like, I can't believe I'm asking that.
Well, it's not Bo Nix. Like, Bo Nix had a bad day yesterday, and I know whatever. They won 6 in a row, and the Broncos are leading the division, and the Chiefs will test them, certainly, but Bo Nix is not. He has not covered himself in glory in year 2. I don't think anybody would argue that.
Their defense is
They're one of the teams that aren't in that top 14. The Broncos are -3. Seattle's -3. Chargers are -4. And somehow the 49ers are -6. So, it's but they're winning football games. But I'll be curious to see, obviously with the Chiefs twice and the Chargers again, kind of how Denver, if they're able to kind of get through some of these games, how they've been kind of skirting through. But hey, you know what? I mean, if I'm on the Broncos team and you're 7-2, I don't care. We're winning games.
Sure. Miles to go, unfortunately for Titans fans, for the rest of the NFL season. But there's a lot more football, meaningful football to be played. To Brett's point, that's what makes that Bills game so fascinating, because Buffalo does this to Kansas City in the regular seaon.
I mean, you called it on Friday. I'm sitting here like, man, I think the Chiefs, they're playing so great. And then what happens? Mahomes goes, 15-34, 44, completion percentage, which I think is the worst. Was it the worst in his career?
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he had just come off one of the best 3-week stretches of his career, completing over 74% of his passes, 250 plus, 3 touchdowns in each of the last 3 games. He's not had a streak like that with those 3 categories. But Josh Allen in this game was fantastic.
Awesome.
I mean, this was
23-26 for 273. And here's
3 total touchdowns.
We kind of thought Jonathan Taylor was kind of running away with the rushing. I think he only rushed for 55 yards yesterday. And he's sitting at 895. And James Cook sliding up there, sitting at 867, both averaging 5.7 per. And very similar in attempts, too, 157 to 153, but the Bills have already had their bye. So, Taylor's got a game in hand, playing 9 of them. James Cook, has played 8. They've already had their bye. So, Cook, he's averaging 108 a game, where Taylor's 99. So, like I said, that rushing attack that Buffalo has just between Cook and Allen, it was on display yesterday. And but like you said, Bills win in the regular season, then it gets down to the playoffs. But that's usually a game that's at Arrowhead. So,
and this would be obviously a different scenario depending on how this plays out. Now, the other thing is the officiating in this game, where Mahomes has a call against him that's a intentional grounding.
Right.
That they go back after the fact and see that the ball was impacted, so very much
tipped,
changes the trajectory. I don't know if you saw this, Lucas, but so it's an intentional grounding call initially. Then they review. They see that the ball was tipped, and it is clear that Mahomes is targeting a player, so it's not, in fact, intentional grounding. They come back then later and say there is nothing reviewable about the play, because the play itself, the penalty or the call, cannot be reviewed in this particular situation. And Gene Steratore is beside himself. He's like, I've never seen a play in 30-something years of calling or being a part of officiating crews and now being on the broadcast side. I've never seen a play like the one that just happened, and it's a huge one that turns the momentum of that game, because Mahomes still gets the ball back with 20 seconds left?
22 seconds. I know Bills fans were having flashbacks to that playoff game.
Because he's had 2 Hail Mary attempts in that game, and they're right on the money.
The first one was. The second one, they did a good job of chasing him out of the pocket, and he had to throw off his back foot. Didn't even really reach the end zone. But that's the other thing. They got after him in this game. They had 3 sacks, including a couple critical ones in big moments. But the 4th and 17, when they were down 14, that Mahomes converted, somehow Rashee Rice just gets wide open in the middle of the defense on 4th and 17. In that moment, and the Chiefs go down and score, make it a 1-score game, get the 2-point conversion. I'm like, Chiefs are winning this game. But credit to Buffalo.
Yeah, it's. I feel like every play should be reviewed, or the ability to review it. I know that might take more time just in general, but, this is a situation. And, it happened to Mahomes. He's gotten a lot of calls to go his way over the years.
It's tough to feel bad for the Chiefs, but, I felt bad for them because it directly impacted the game.
They're fine.
They're fine. But, the next play, it goes from 2 and 6 to 3 and 3rd and 16, and he's sacked. by Rousseau and Hoyt. So, obviously it turns to 4th and 25 there in the third quarter. So I do think everything should be reviewable just because, I think, it's the Chiefs. I don't care, whatever. You've got a lot of calls your way. You got Super Bowl rings. I don't really care. But, I also think about if that were to happen, in our AFC championship game at Arrowhead, and that type of play happens to us, and it's like, well, you can't
with a
review
10-point lead,
you can't review it. So sorry about that. And you're like, man, it's just we have the technology, you have the ability, but we'll take a look at. I don't know if we'll take a look, but officials meetings and all that kind of stuff, similar to the the whole kickoff thing yesterday with the Steelers. Kicking it out of bounds, the 25 yards from your kickoff spot, kicking from the 50. The Titans had the same opportunity, and hit a touchback. It doesn't seem like a big deal, 25, 35, but that's a first down. So at that point in the game, too, you'd love to be able to take advantage of the rules, but that's probably something that will get switched as well.
Super Bowl back on for your Ravens, Robert. 28-6 over the Dolphins. Boots on the ground reporting on Thursday Night Football.
Oh yeah, I love when they beat the hell out of a helpless victim. Love that. Just love
on the football field.
Yeah.
Love when they do that.
When they just break their back.
No.
Yes. No, I don't know. They beat a crappy team. They beat a Bears team last week with a backup quarterback. Like they just are what they are. I wouldn't come out and be like, yeah, I think they're going to win a Super Bowl. Don't I ever sound really smart? But like, there's a bunch of things they have to fix on defense, some things they have to fix on offense. I would say that them winning the AFC North would be the goal right now.
Yeah, but you are in a way better situation than like Cincinnati. Think about what they have to fix.
Sure.
I mean, my God.
You would have to fix Joe Burrow. Like, you would have to fix him. Like, I don't know. The thing was, like, they weren't even thought of with Joe Burrow. They were still thought of to be the second or third best team in that division. So, like, comparing the two, and also their locker room is in shambles. Their leaders are crap talking the other side of the ball. At least the Ravens are having to deal with that. Yeah. So,
well, you still got the Bengals twice, Steelers twice, Patriots, Packers,
Jets,
Vikings with a huge win.
A must win for the Vikings.
Must win. Yeah, Lions were awful on third down yesterday, and they got outrushed too. So not great. But the Vikings. You guys got the Vikings next, and then Browns, Jets. So. I mean, probably get back to 500, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would hope so. The big thing will be whenever you look at any fan base, every fan base hates whatever their team is doing. Oh, I wish they would be more aggressive. Eagles fans are upset at how much Howie paid to get Jalen Phillips. Other people are like, why won't our general manager spend that much? So Ravens fans right now are like, send a first for Quinnen Williams. Send a first for Max Crosby. Shut up. Shut up, man. Twitter is almost becoming too exhausting to be on as a fan. Just like even the people you thought were mild-mannered and came about things with like an even keel are now like, well, I guess look at how good Flacco is. We should have just signed all our wide receivers after the Super Bowl. Shut up. You're all losers and dumb, man. Shut up. So, I don't know. Twitter is still not fun after a win, so it's just, what a cesspool. What a cesspool.
That's why I'm not on it. It's great.
Brett Kern, the smartest among us for many reasons, because he does not participate in Twitter.
But here's one. Your Ravens, they play the Bengals on November 27th, and then they play them again on December 14th.
That Bears game reminded me so much of the Bengals-Ravens game last year.
Drunk.
38-35. We're just like, Lamar's down somewhere between 14 and 7 the entire game. Just ends up fighting back. And in the last, right from the jaws of defeat, you end up kicking a field goal out of the monster's mouth. So, love to see the Bengals go down. Maybe you should have paid Lou Anarumo to keep those guys around and make them happy. You guys suck.
Find yourself someone that loves you the way Robert hates the other teams in the AFC North. Crazy to be 3-5 and still within striking distance of that division.
49% chance. That's unbelievable.
On the way out, we didn't mention Jaden Daniels.
Yes, we did. You weren't paying attention.
Okay.
Oh, his elbow?
Yeah. That we brought up at the start of the hour.
I was eating a Twizzler.
All right, very good.
Twizzler, you weren't munching down that soup?
He's eating everything. You can't put food anywhere near him. It's just
pumpkin bread.
A hazard of the job. Not for Lucas Panzica.
See that pumpkin bread? I carpe diem.
Brett Kern. Always good to come on and join us Mondays and Fridays, and you will be back on Friday.
Yes, sir. Pick'ems have to be better.
Have to be better.
Have to be better.
We will watch the tape and improve. We will call for last call for phone calls if you got them. 615
tape.
Yeah, likely not. 615-737-1045 is how you jump in for the last segment of the day. I'm Buck Rising, 1045 The Zone. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Last call for phone calls if you got them. A little Monday night football action between the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Jake Brisket, Jacoby Brissett making another start for Arizona. Kyler Murray not able to get right basically since that Titans game with the foot injury.
It's a shame because had Murray been healthy, it's essentially a guaranteed win for the Cardinals at Jerry World. You know why?
Why?
Kyler Murray is a perfect 9-0 in his lifetime at Jerry World.
Dating back to college.
High school. I'm talking state championship games in Texas.
So the Cowboys, the Cowboys defense, so awful. So they still may not be able to hang on for a win against a depleted Cardinals team at this point in time. But we will see what becomes of them.
Are you guys buying into the theory or the rumor that Kyler Murray has been soft benched? That we would see Jacoby Brissett for the remainder of the year.
That's a thing?
That is very much a thing.
Did this with J.J. McCarthy, though, which was nonsense.
Well, yeah, but he was hurt. Like, apparently...
He had an ankle sprain.
Right, like, apparently Kyler is able to come back.
Oh, really?
Well, that is the rumor. The rumor is that, and he's like, I'm not going to come back and be the backup, yada, yada, yada. I just didn't know if you guys bought into it or if you guys are even reading the rumor dirt sheet.
No.
Foot sprain is the injury.
I'm going to assume Kyler Murray gives them the best chance to win.
Yeah, they haven't won since before he went down.
No, I know. So, like, it's what is the purpose? What does soft benching Kyler Murray accomplish if in that scenario? For Jacoby Brissett, you're not doing justice to the other players by putting a lesser quarterback out there. I just don't think that makes any sense.
I think they would be assuming that he is not the lesser quarterback. They would be saying that Kyler has lost it, or at least lost it there.
I just don't know. Kyler Murray is the most confusing player actively in the NFL because he's, 7 years in, and I still don't know if he's good or not.
He does some awesome stuff sometimes.
Like, I don't know if he's good.
The best example for who Kyler Murray is as a player was the rollout no-look interception. When it looked like, oh my, this guy is incredibly stupid. What the heck is he doing?
Yeah.
He's a Jet. He's going to be a Jet in 2026 so fast.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh, no.
That would be, who else could he, a bunch of people going through the quarterback, or it's either him or Mac Jones as the reclamation project.
Oh, no. Don't do that to Matt.
Someone's going to give Matt a fat old contract.
He's going to be the next year's Sam Darnold. If I'm 100%. Him, I'm like, all right, dude, come back. Purdy, come back and play really poorly
For
so
sure,
I look great.
But there's a difference between going to Seattle and going to New York.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
for
100%.
Sure.
I mean, the same way that, what was the cat that, I brought him up a million times, played for the Packers, started 2 games at the end of the year while Rodgers was out of the undefeated season. Matt Flynn.
Yeah.
The
LSU
Seahawks
legend.
were like, oh my gosh, look how good he is. He threw 11 touchdowns in 2 games. He gets there and he gets beat out by a third-round rookie.
Well, so many of these reclamation projects have taken off recently. It feels like they're all hitting right now. Sam Darnold and Mac Jones and Daniel Jones.
Not yesterday.
Not yesterday, but Baker. One of them is going to fall flat at some point, going to end up in a bad situation. I guess Justin Fields would probably fall into that category.
Is that scenario. Tim is up next in Old Hickory.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Like listening to the show? Not to take anything away from Little kicking the 68-yarder, which was exciting, but he's got a significant advantage this year than back when Tom Dempsey kicked the 63-yarder back in the early 70s. They used that little K-ball, which is very, just a smaller ball, and it's tighter. It's just easier to kick than Tom Dempsey, which is only a 5-yard advantage in 55 years. So I still give the nod to Tom Dempsey. He's kicking the old fat football back in the 70s,
I appreciate the call, Tim. You just cut him off.
Well, you said appreciate the call. That's my key.
Well, he was still talking.
All right. Appreciate it, Tim.
I didn't mean to interrupt him, so that's my bad, Tim. Listen, sports evolve. We have an extra game in the regular season for the NFL. The passing yards are going to reflect it, right? These things. So you're entitled to have your own personal record book, I suppose, but it's still, I don't take it away from him necessarily just because Tom Dempsey was doing it in the 70s with a different kind of football.
The current state of kicking, not just in the NFL, but all the way down to what we're seeing from kids in high school right now, just, again, reminds me how ahead of his time Lane Kiffin has always been as a coach. when he rolled out Sebastian Janikowski for a 76-yard attempt back in 2008.
He was very drunk.
Polls.
Janikowski. That is.
He was at the Vegas game against the Titans. Looks very puffy.
And I meant to tell you, I found the quote. I love we just talk all over the poll updates.
Well, fade it
now.
down a little bit at least.
I found the quote that started the Murray soft benching. Adam Schefter put out, making progress with his foot sprain, but could have a role on Monday night. Okay, so he's not healthy enough to start, but he's healthy enough to have a role?
Well, backup.
Oh, he already said the thing. Dadgummit. Come on, guys.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Where were the Titans better on Sunday? Oh, I mean, the answer is special teams and pass rush, and that's where most folks go. Pass rush was excellent. Yeah.
Pass rush is the answer.
Beat up Chargers O-line, but it's been a while since the Titans have been able to take advantage of a bad or beat up offensive line, and they did.
If I'm going to criticize them every time they do something bad, I'm going to praise them every time they do something good. They did a good job yesterday, even if they lost.
Draymond Jones, good at football this year. Where were the Titans worse on Sunday? John says offensive play calling. I don't know how big of a problem I have with the Wildcat, man. Like, I get, if people think it's too cute or whatever, but end of the day, you got to get enough push to get a yard. Like, to me, that's not on the play call. To me, that's on just straight up losing in the trenches.
And they lost in the trenches yesterday. Decisively lost in the trenches yesterday.
Over under 1.5 Titans deadline trades this week. 63% take the over. Deadline tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central.
I think that's I think Titans fans are hoping that they give away more things or trade away more things. I would take the under. I reserve the right to be wrong, I suppose, but I just don't think that there's enough interest in what they have for what they might want for them to see more than one player moved. I would be surprised. I would be shocked if there was not a trade, right?
Those are the polls.
That's the show. You're done with me for the week. Lucky you. I'm going to Miami. I'm taking the bye week off. Lucas and Robert and the rest of the crew will hold it down, so you'll still have Nate Washington, you'll still have Brett Kern on Friday, and all of the fun that comes with that. See ya.